Welcome back. It's the finals. Here we are.
What we all came for.
Team Italia taking both spots in the finals. Daniele and Matteo, both ready to play. They're stepping up. They have a quick conversation with the judge before this happens. Let's talk about the matchup.
Yeah, so we've seen both of these gentlemen on stream before. Last game earlier today, we saw Daniele defeat a Dromm. He was using the Reckless Fury and Blazing Assault, so very aggressive out of the gate. Maintained a lot of ability to attack. Was not afraid of attacking Gorechosen fighters. Was not afraid of getting hit back, and used his War Scroll abilities very well to leverage some advantages in the upgrades department. That said, Matteo is also a very potent player. Has not lost since the bracket cut. Has only lost once in pool stage. These two live about 10 minutes away from each other. I talked to them a little bit before stream started. They played each other several times in the week leading up to the tournament, and again at the airport 5 minutes before lists were due, still practicing on the way here. So they played each other many times, intimately familiar with each other's lists, intimately familiar with each other's warbands, and their player capabilities. So they both won several times against each other, so this really could go either way.
Yeah.
But regardless of what happens, we do know that the world champion is going to be Italian.
We do. We're going to make sure we've got it correct, but I think my understanding, yes, neither player has lost a single match.
No.
The only Italian who's lost to somebody who is not an Italian is Alessandro. He lost to Mads in the very first round of pool play.
But then beat him again in the top cut, yes.
It takes an Italian to beat an Italian, apparently. And that's right here. We have that. You asked a little bit about if they had knew each other's decks, if they practiced together. And Matteo's answer was, what do you think?
And that was pretty self-explanatory there. But yeah, they did confirm they played several times very recently as well, working through each other's lists. They helped each other make card decisions. I would expect that despite the fact that we have secret information in this match, both players know basically everything they're going to see. And the question is, does he have it in his hand right now?
Exactly. We know we just saw Daniele with that big score, Unrelenting Massacre. I did not see that come out of Matteo's deck.
I don't remember seeing it there, so that may be a difference point. They are both using Reckless Fury, but they don't have the same cards from Reckless Fury. Countdown to Cataclysm, again, an interesting pairing. I think the only Dromm in the top cut, at least, who was using it.
Absolutely.
So a little bit different from the other Dromms. We do know that Daniele has been able to defeat several Dromm players to get to this point, but he will be facing a unique challenge here. So he can't necessarily rely on the same tricks that he used before.
That's true, but if anyone's prepared for him, I think the Countdown to Cataclysm pairing has gotten him a lot of mileage. Gotten him a lot of mileage coming up to this. However, he's playing the one opponent who has knows his tricks here.
Exactly what's going on, no surprises on either side of the table here.
Yeah. Players are drawing their initial hands, and let's slip over to the action here.
Sounds good. For those watching at home who are wondering, what's going to happen to my favorite player? What's going to happen to my favorite nation? It's still valuable to discuss the fact that while the top four are locked in at this point for who is going to be placed first through fourth, from fifth onward, the standings are actually not fixed. Those who were in the top 16 cut can fall out of the top 16. And players who have performed particularly well in the Worlds pools could bring themselves up to the top 16 and ended up getting themselves an invite back to Worlds next year. So many people still with a lot to play for. You might think, oh, well, I've lost my match. I'm not advancing in the single elimination. That may be true, but you still have to defend your spot in the top 16 if you want to stay there. And some players who just missed the cut have found themselves on the edge of getting into that top 16 and earning themselves not only generalship points for themselves and national points for their country, but a chance at an invite back to Worlds in the subsequent year.
Here's the roll-off. It's a tie.
And that is a win for Daniele. So he will be orienting the board. We've seen before that both players prefer to have the orientation in fives, and that both players prefer to have no locked hexes on the board. So that's what's happened. And really the only advantage may be that Daniele gets to pick which territory is his. And he has done so, but also forcing Matteo to place that first treasure token, which is generally seen as a disadvantage in this edition of the game.
It looks like we will have a judge just near the table just to make sure that the finals move along smoothly. Not any pressure intended, but that way the finalists don't have to go looking for a judge should they need one. I would guess that these players have a very shared understanding of how the game works, so I'm going to guess a very minimal need for any judge intervention.
I would imagine
here.
There's not going to be too many rules questions coming out, but a judge available nonetheless. This is the finals of the World Championships of Warhammer. And for those who haven't watched us before, this game is going to be played with one player using the Countdown to Cataclysm deck. You can see there at the upper left of the screen, there will be the Countdown to Cataclysm tracker, and then that white die representing the value of the Cataclysm score. Some cards do care about what that number is. The game starts at 1. After enough ticks along the clock, it will move to 2, then 3, then potentially 4. We do know that Matteo has taken the defense upgrade based on that.
Yep.
So if you see that countdown tracker getting to 3 or 4, prepare for a large defensive value to be dropped on a player, and then prepare for Daniele to consider breaking that with his Vile Temptation ability.
Yeah. Matteo had a spectacular play earlier in the match that we streamed, and this is where he was able to leverage Sunder the Realm. He, in the one single turn, managed to finish off both the wielder of the blade and the bearer of the block.
Yes, which was incredibly powerful and secured him that game.
Now, we've seen, by and large, the treasure tokens mostly just coming in as far as a tiebreaker with both these players previously. Certainly in the most recent one with the Discord. I had theorized that you might see a Thricefold model get on there late and delve for a little bit of extra protection, getting cover, maybe doing it late in the round so they don't have to pay the price of the stagger. I am sure I've not thought of something that Daniele doesn't already know. So if he sees that opportunity, he doesn't have to sacrifice any other positioning. I expect that we'll see that.
There are a few cards in the Countdown to Cataclysm deck that do care about treasure tokens and feature tokens. One of those most notably Shocking Assault, which we know he has taken. If you hold all treasure tokens in neutral territory after an attack, you'll score that surge. There is one in neutral territory. Expect to see Matteo attempt to make at least one attack throughout the game on that token, and Daniele, knowing that, means he may try and find a way to either delve it or hold it himself. All right, players are ready to go. Notably, you referenced that center of the board ping potential out of the Countdown to Cataclysm. Definitely a potent card. The evasive ability on the Thricefold Discord card does not care about the source of the damage, so there's a chance you can reduce damage by 1. That said, you can only reduce things to a minimum of 1.
That's correct.
Unless he plays one of those sudden collapse type cards that could do more damage, it's going to really only affect attacks in this situation.
There's some conversation at the table right now, coming to a shared understanding of something. It's happening in Italian, so we are not sharing in that understanding.
Generally, we can't hear the players anyway, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going to have no idea what's going on. It's all going to be based on what we see on the video. So you at home, if you see anything that you think that we don't, go ahead and throw it in the chat. We'll try and call it out. But both players are going to be talking, I assume, primarily in Italian, unless a judge is conversing with them.
Yeah. We can say all throughout this weekend, the conversation with the chat here has been collaborative. So you guys are part of this too. You let us know what you see, what you think. I see a good suggestion from FR Black Sheep that winning country has to host next year like Eurovision.
Not a bad idea.
Italy, stream there next year.
Yeah, I mean, we could set up a stream in Italy, I imagine.
Eric's down early. A couple of real nicely painted warbands too.
Eric's worth only 1 bounty, so usually a good forward deployment piece, trying to bait out of some attacks. And as we've seen before, Daniele not afraid to attack him, offering up Blood Tithe, and willing to fight to take pieces off the board, even when other players have been scared to do so.
Now here's something interesting. Daniele led with Lassevier. Every other deployment we've seen from him, the 2 other deployments we've seen, he led with Vastus. I wonder what it is about this matchup that he's protecting Lassevier for longer with this against this pairing.
Not exactly sure. Maybe he was just waiting to see where Herax went. Could be a number of things. Again, these players have intimate knowledge of each other's strategies and decks, so things he may take in a generic draw matchup, he may not bring to this one. So we'll see a little bit of difference between how we've watched these 2 play on the prior 2 streams, because they are facing a known opponent at this time. Matteo counting hexes pretty carefully before placing a fighter down, wondering about like where a landing spot might be for a charge and where he might want to end up and what the threat range is of at least Lasavir, who's already down. Knowing the Lasavir can move 5 does mean that there aren't a lot of safe places to be, and then having that Wicked Slice able to dish out another damage means you do have to be careful about where you can get attacked by Lasavir and who's within 2 of that after the attack is done.
From where we're sitting, we can see the number 3 and 4 game playing. That would be Yuri and James, I believe. Yuri from Canada, James, who we just had on the stream.
Yeah, Yuri actually fell down earlier. I believe that's Maxim from Canada playing
for that's right.
4th place. But a Gorechosen mirror match over there. We'll try and update you on that as we understand more. They're currently doing the roll-off for first turn, having deployed their fighters. So both games in the finals round and the 3rd place game taking place right now. Similar state of the game. You can follow along on Best Coast Pairings as their games are submitted, but we'll try and give you updates from that table as we can. So if you're watching from Canada or England or fans of either country, know that you still have a chance for 3rd place and getting a podium spot for your nation is still nothing to be sad about.
We can already see a little difference in deployment between Matteo and James. James often ended up with all 3 of his clustered of his Gorechosen clustered on one side, and then Daniele would put Vexmore further away.
And a crit there, and so it looks like some good things coming Daniele's way to start. Notably also, he previous 2 games we watched Daniele play, he ended up with Vexmore kind of alone off to the side. Not the case this time. We may see him engage earlier and leverage that indolent ability where he gets +1 attack dice and Grievous if he has no move or charge tokens.
Ziggy Stardust, glad to not see a mirror final. That's unless you consider Italians versus Italians a mirror. But yeah, the biggest conversation here has been how present the Gorechosen have been. But after all is said and done, we may not even see Gorechosen on top at the very end. There's a question about what decks Daniele is using. Daniele is on Reckless Fury and Blazing Assault. So actually the more aggressive of the deck pairings between the 2 of them.
2 strike decks taken for him, which means that he's going to want to press the advantage early, get out lots of attacks, lots of damage, and ideally with charge tokens in enemy territory. Reckless Fury also being taken by Matteo, so they'll have some overlap there. We'll see how we can position certain fighters in territories with charge tokens, pass those tokens around. And his other deck in his pairing is Countdown to Cataclysm, which does have some positional play. So they will have slightly different incentives as the game wears
on. We can see Daniele won that roll-off and then is forcing Matteo to go first. And we're seeing Herix dive in right away.
All right, here comes 3 dice looking for swords, but there's nothing there. And a defensive roll just in case, because both players know that the perfect cut is in Matteo's deck, requiring no successes on defense. So until we see that card, expect to see Daniele roll defense every time, regardless of whether it's necessary.
Mr. Nakabo, for the time being, I think Worlds, and this is not a promise, I'm not on GW staff, but I think Worlds will continue to probably be held in Atlanta for the reasons of the large airport and the there are some other kind of labor costs associated with it, which are a number of things that work out better for an event of this size right now. But as far as I know, I think they may be looking at a traveling Worlds, down the line. This is only the 2nd year it's happening, so anything's possible.
Yeah, the only other thing to consider is that they try and hold all 4 game systems in the same room. So unless Italy sweeps, I don't know that they'll have as strong of an argument to take it there just because of Underworlds.
We saw Vexmore very happy to just take a poke back and lay 3 damage on Herix right away. Vexmore, indolent as he is happy for you to come to him.
Mm-hmm. The less running, the better. Thomas, a friend of mine we're staying with here in this, has said twice on this trip already, I would rather die than run. Channeling his inner Vexmore.
So that opening exchange definitely seeming to go Daniele's way.
I would say so. He's able to get a high leverage attack out of Vexmore. Now, having done this, no inspiration on either side of the board yet, and some Blood Tithe coming out. So we may be able to see an Enrage early. Not sure if or how it will be used. But having access to that first blood dice count means the Gorechosen can begin to get their snowball going if dice go his way. Matteo carefully counting hexes prior to making any moves or playing any cards.
Like it, pointing out that Warhammer Underworlds is the most important of GW's games, though, and I just couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. I mean, sure, many people play 40K, but who really cares who the 40K champion is? What we want to know is Underworlds. At the table, I see Matteo hunched over, looking very carefully. Daniela leaning back, very casual, relaxed.
Yeah.
I think that he feels like he might have a good position here.
I think so. He was able to force that first activation and got the right exchange on those initial dice rolls. He's got to feel pretty satisfied with the opening.
Matteo appears ready to take his action. The Gorechosen have sent the Gore Hulk over the line in a charge. And that's two successes. Not a success. There. So 3 damage will be coming out unless he can get the evasive roll here. Hammer crit. And nope. So that'll be 3 damage on Lasavir, but he does have the capacity. Vastus, but he does have the capacity to inspire another fighter after having failed that roll.
The perfect cut coming out, so we have the first glory to Matteo. We're not seeing a drive back.
I think they're currently discussing whether or not and where. And the inspiration goes to Lasavir, taking those 3 swords to 3 hammers on attack. High reliability attack here. We'll see if he uses it to finish off Herax or if he dives in at Dromm. In the previous matchup against James, we saw Daniela target Dromm early and often. So presumably that is something he's felt is the right play. The Gorechosen, of course, also in charge range. So Gorehulk could be the target here. And we'll see, based on their experience with each other, if that changes his play pattern against the prior Gorechosen opponent.
Matteo playing a card. Difficult to see exactly what that was. I'm going to guess if it didn't change anything on the board, it may have been Reckless Attitudes to force a charge. Not sure, though.
Possibly to keep Vexmore from taking another one of those indolent stabs and finishing off Herax. Whatever card it was, it appears to have gotten into Daniela's head a bit. He started to put his hand on his chin, scratching at his forehead, thinking more carefully about his options. He may have had a plan, and now it has to change.
Judge confirming for me it was Reckless Attitudes. My Warhammer Underworlds brain has grown just by proximity to all these amazing players.
A little bit of osmosis and a little bit of getting to watch some of the top players play well. Now we have Lasavir.
She could be
Vastus. I continually forget her name.
Yeah.
She's now made the charge. One to get away from the scary Gorehulk, but another to throw out a 3-range attack. Are we going to finish off the vulnerable Herax, or are we attempting to put some damage onto another one of the big fighters? It looks like...
Oh.
Changing his mind about the landing spot. Vastus is not inspired, so only at range 3. So it looks like the target is now coming in to be Dromm. And no successes. But that will allow inspiring. So Vexmore now much more frightening as a fighter.
So I think this position is a little bit about trying to force the engagement into the Gorechosen's home territory. He can pull the fighters back there. It makes some things he's got like bloody momentum score a little easier.
Yeah, and then also keeping bottled up on the Gorechosen side of the table. We saw Daniela do that to pretty good success in the last game.
Yep.
Making it so that they have to stay home and cannot stride over the line. Does block some of their Reckless Fury-based scoring. And that could be important here in this pairing.
This is going to be Call of Blood. Considering doing a 2-hex push.
And now having hit once and been hit once, he has 2 to spend. So he was able to spend 1 and still access his Enrage ability.
So this will bring his tithe count back down to 1. reconsidering
changing
for a
his
moment.
mind, and instead pulling Lasavir a little further back to the home spot.
Maybe taking the ability back altogether.
We have seen before that Blood Tithe was pretty effectively countered almost immediately by the feuding ability. So you can't force your opponent to use their own resources here, but you might want to wait for a better, more advantageous position. Nope, he's still doing it, so it is going to happen. Spending 2, but he's pushing adjacent to Herax and instead pulling Dromm up to give a no charge required flanked strike here out of Dromm.
Would be an awful lot of damage to him. Well, no. So this is just going to be a
uninspired. It's
attack.
just 2.
Yep.
No Grievous. So unless he plays cards to support it, Lasavir on 2 dodge will take at most 2 damage, with the potential to reduce that from evasive. And there's the counter immediately. Matteo giving a thumbs up, saying, well played. I expected that. So now Lasavir in a safer position. Dromm does have a range 2 attack, but does not do 2 damage, guaranteeing only 1. And notably pushing Vash just deeper into enemy territory. All right, so looks like we are going to be making that range 2 attack after all. Matteo settling for 1 damage regardless. There is
a crit and a success.
And a flanked success. 1 crit and no successes. So that will be 1 damage. No point in trying to reduce it with evasive because a minimum of 1. And now a drive back. So a charge will have to happen if Lasavir wants to get into the game.
That was Matteo's 3rd action step. We're in the power now. Daniele still with 2 actions that he can take with his warband. And recall that the Enrage, one of the biggest sources of the Gorechosen strength, is still available.
Here comes that charge, targeting Dromm again. No wounds on Dromm yet, but that has been his strategy in the last game against James, and it looks like to be his same strategy here. Dromm dying early is of big value for Daniela's game plan. Hard to argue with his success. Appears he has scored a surge. And
brutal.
No successes, though. Inspired, Lasavir is hitting on hammers and not swords anymore.
Choosing to still put the 1 damage from the slicing blades.
Yes, which means 1 more Blood Tithe going over to the Gorechosen side as well. An upgrade coming out here. That one featuring Black Powder. It is Fury of Akshi. So now only charges are available to fighters adjacent to Lasavir, which means Dromm, if he wants to do anything, has to do it with a charge, unless he can get a push to get away.
Here we see Enrage coming out. Gorehulk is going to attempt to finish off Vastus. He's got a good chance of doing it with his range 1 attack.
Range 1 attack, if he uses the higher dice one, which I imagine he will, he's going to be throwing, I believe, 4 swords.
4 hammers.
4 hammers, excuse me, into 1 dodge as she's not inspired. That's an 85% chance of success, but he's using, surprisingly, the higher damage attack. Still ends up going through, and down she goes. There is 2 bounty and 2 Blood Tithe over to Matteo, who's got to be happy with that result.
I wonder if he was looking for an attack roll with all successes.
And we do know that he was the underdog. No, not the underdog at that time, but he does have Branching Fate. He would need 3 dice to succeed on that normally, so there may have been something else he was looking for. Regardless, Vastus is slain, and that does advance his game plan.
Fairly certain we're looking at a Blood Tithe of 4 now. The small blue trackers in the upper left corner are what tracking that. It's a little challenging for us to see. Final action coming from Daniele next. If he wants, he is going to be able to set up a score for Unrelenting Massacre, the 3 glory end phase that he's got. He has control over whether everybody has charge or not.
Because he's already secured, unless there's a push that we don't know about. If Dromm wants to activate, he must charge. And if he can find a way to charge with Vexmore, he'll lose some efficiency, but he will possibly score that card for 3 glory, and I would imagine that's got to be worth it.
Yeah. And that's on me. I'm actually forgetting that Dromm has not yet charged. He was able to get in that position with a push.
He does have Fury of Actually on Lasavir, though, so it will be a thing that must happen if he's to be activated. Do have a comment from Ross. Hey, man, how you doing? Good to hear from you again. Khorne versus Slaanesh may be the most lore-accurate final ever. For those who are not aware of the Age of Sigmar lore and the Warhammer Fantasy lore before it, the four Chaos Gods are commonly in battle with each other, but historically, Slaanesh and Khorne like each other the least. And so they take great pleasure in fighting each other, as these two Italians likely do as well.
Matteo thinking hard about what the final position he wants to hold is. Is this a move? Because the Gore Hulk.
Yeah, currently Matteo is not charged out, so I don't know that he could.
Great fortitude coming down on the Gore Hulk. Reckless charge, I believe we're seeing on.
So Vexmar will have +2 move on a charge, and so can get pretty deep into enemy territory to help him score a couple of other things. Now the question is this coming out to put some damage onto Dromm? And the answer is yes. This attack will be 2 hammers with flanked for 2 damage.
There's 2 successes.
But a crit on defense, so stand fast will reduce that damage by 1. Excellent work for Matteo, and that could be crucial later.
So with Dromm in this position, if Daniele gets the first activation of the next round. Oh, here's a ping, and we never saw this one in our previous stream. This is the dice for it's going to be a dice roll based on the Cataclysm count, which is still at 1.
But it is total collapse. If it controls any swords or crits, pick a fighter, and then that fighter will take 1 damage. And if you picked a friendly, you can do Cataclysm value instead. But looks like that was not a successful roll, so good attempt to put some damage out, but it didn't quite come through for him. We've seen how dangerous the Inspired Vexmore can be in the hands of Daniele, and so Matteo, surely familiar with that, wants to deal with that threat early. After a power step, there's a score there, so another surge for Matteo, bringing his total up to 4.
We're going to have a pivotal first activation of round 2, I think. It'd be real interesting to see who is the underdog and gets a little advantage.
Yeah,
in that.
The end phase is coming up, so it could switch hands. But right now, Daniele with a pretty good chance at underdog, getting him to break the tiebreaker his way, and then allowing him to get that first attack. Maybe with an indolent Vexmore able to kill Dromm.
I'm noticing Lasavir has got a clean fighter card. Did Lasavir take 1 earlier? We must have seen it. It must have had a healing potion go by.
No, I believe Lasavir was able to be pushed out of danger. I don't think Lasavir has been harmed.
That's right. Marco, this is going to be a best of 3. That's correct. They have 4 hours to play the round, so they're allowed and encouraged to take their time, just so long as they get done within those 4 hours, for all our sakes.
Both players drawing some cards, clearing some tokens. It's possible neither player scored anything in the end phase, and now they're going to the roll-off. Not a great roll out of Matteo, and
all right, Daniele
does in fact have it. So I was talking to James earlier, who played Daniele last round, and said, hey, when you lose one of your big fighters early before you're inspired, is there ever a time that you use Final Frenzy to try and save them? And he said, absolutely not. Amazed I would even ask such a question. I don't know if Matteo has the same theory, but Inspire is very important, and if you have a low probability of success, then maybe you don't bother wasting it.
Oh, there's a big chance for Dromm here. Got it.
Right. And not electing to drive him back, I would imagine, because Fury of Actually is on Lasavir and will keep Dromm basically forced to charge while he remains adjacent. And that could have killed Dromm had it gone through, so big sigh of relief out of Matteo there.
Bellowing Tyrant on Herix. We saw that come out in a previous game. I don't think we ever saw that action taken, though.
No, but it could potentially push 2 fighters who have charge tokens and take a charge token off of one of those fighters for the cost of an action. But depending on the board state, it might be a very powerful thing to do. Now, Herax is only on 1 wound remaining, so good chance that he doesn't survive to use it. Dromm charging away
Double
as he's
crit.
forced to, but a double
Ooh.
crit, hard to do anything about. 2 dodge here, but
Nothing
no
at all.
successes, and that'll be 2 damage. Only 1
Just
from
the
range
one.
2 while
He's
uninspired.
not yet inspired.
I'm
Yep.
just so used to the Gorechosen being inspired early. But Daniele being somewhat of a cagey player. There's another surge scored for making that attack, though, bringing Daniela's deficit to 4, as Matteo has 5 glory.
Looks like Daniele did pick up one other objective.
Does have one other
Might have been an
somehow.
end phase that we missed.
All right, Lasavir likely to charge back in to lock Dromm in place. If he can't kill him, at least he can keep him from doing anything else with Fury of Akshi. Drive back has been done.
I wonder with my giant Warhammer Underworlds brain that Daniele didn't choose to delve that into cover
at the end of the round.
Would have helped with a
would have made a
double
difference
support.
there, yes.
And there's a drive back there. Utter ignorance coming out. It's now on Dromm.
All right. So Dromm now has the ability to, if taking lethal damage, leave himself on 1 health remaining instead. But we do know that the Thriceful Discord have a War Scroll ability called Vile Temptations, which could take that upgrade away. Assuming, of course, you have an upgrade in your hand to replace it with. Daniele carefully considering his options. Matteo got to be feeling pretty good about having the lead and having Dromm still alive here, though. Lasavir charging in and having Fury of Akshi tying both of those fighters down, and also playing a power card prior to this attack.
Might be Twist the Knife.
It would give Lasavir the capacity to kill, as Grievous would add 1 to the damage. Looks like somehow.
Wow.
Not clear exactly what happened there, to be honest. I had thought that was a charge out of Lasavir, but the
seems like it was a push of some kind, and then
and an attack with only 1 die for some reason.
Oh well, it was an attack that came from Matteo. It was a countdown to Cataclysm, the improvised attack, I believe.
Oh,
That's why
that
we
must
only
have been
saw
the case.
1 attack into.
That's his Cataclysm value was only 1 at that time.
Yeah.
Not doing the damage isn't the hugest thing. I think he was really hoping for that drive back, and he did get it.
Got it.
So, still a useful card to have played. Some smiling and banter between the 2 in Italian right now.
Got to feel good to get this far and know that no matter what happens on this table, your country is going to take the top spot.
I can imagine that if your routine sparring partner beat you in the World Finals in front of 1,000 viewers, so he would hold it over you for quite some time. Vexmore charging away. Not charging.
Like commanding stride.
But commanding stride. Now able to strike out at the Gorehulk, spreading the damage around.
You know, this is actually something we saw from Daniele, which really impressed me with his level of play. I think I tend to come into a matchup like this and say, like, oh, I've got this one rule, like I need to focus somebody down. But Daniele is willing to adjust his target priority based on the board state.
Does not overcommit to a plan that looks like it's not as likely to succeed for him as it was at the outset.
Right.
An upgrade coming down on the Gorehulk here. This is the defense equal to your Cataclysm value card, which currently is 1, so no change for Gorehulk. But should Matteo find a way to increase that number, Gorehulk can go to 2, 3, and even 4 shields on defense. All right, Daniele ready to activate. He's flipped his token. He's taking Vexmore, poking out at Dromm. This will be an indolent strike of 3 hammers and flanked.
Wow.
Potentially doing 3 damage.
I think as we discussed, the timing on the Vile Temptation means that he can see the results
before he decides whether or not he would get
so
rid of.
I think he's about to.
He's now that he's seen he has 2 successes, he is getting rid of Utter Ignorance with the Vile Temptation's ability.
But sacrificing his own hidden aid,
but
it's going to go through.
Still worth it in order to kill Dromm. So now we'll find out if James's wisdom holds true. Do we try for a Final Frenzy, or do you let Dromm fall?
He is thinking about it. Picking him up.
Yeah, it appears he's just going to take the loss. That's 3 bounty going over to the Thricefold player. However, it does inspire the other fighters, so and it advances his Cataclysm tracker. So the Gorehulk is now inspired and has 2 shield thanks to that Cataclysm upgrade. So undamaged, a scary, potent fighter at this stage.
And there's no way for him to get around that that upgrade anymore.
Yeah, having used Vile Temptations already does get Dromm out of the picture, which I assume is still the right call, but the Gorehulk is going to be very hard to shift now.
Absolutely. But I mean, I think crucially, if you can knock down one of those range 2-3 damage fighters, really opens up the possibilities. I am not talked to Daniele about this, but I'm almost positive that like a lot of the impetus for it has come from wanting to target the more accurate of the fighters, and hope that Gorehulk gets some misses. We did just see Blade Catcher come down for Lasavir.
That means that no rune marks are going to be available, so no Cleave, no Grievous, no Brutal, or any other cards that we might be expecting to see out of the Gorehulk here. So he can't get Grievous on his more accurate range 1 attack, and that means that he won't be able to push Lasavir to death without taking a lower probability 2 hammers attack. Now he is flanked by Herax, who's still alive.
Herix will have to charge to do something. Herix does have a 2 damage attack, but that's riskier in this environment than you think because Lasavir still hanging on to a damage reduction ability. 2 successes coming from the Gorehulk.
And 1 success, but not enough for Vexmore. He does take some damage and get pushed.
Big hit.
3 damage there. And perhaps more importantly, Vexmore no longer in striking range of the Gorehulk without a charge.
Both players trading some real big attacks back and forth here.
Midway through round 2, we've already seen both teams lose a fighter. 3 damage out on Vexmore Inspired. It's got to look pretty good for Matteo, but he does have, I believe, Utter Ignorance on, so harder to finish him off.
It's like Vexmore is going to go for the kill on Herix.
Yeah, so this will only be 2 hammers, but it is flanked. 2 hammers with 1 support against 1 shield. Probability 66.7%.
And that'll do it for Herix. That'll drop him. I can't imagine you use Final Frenzy on this.
No, I would save it for the Gorehulk if I were Matteo. And it looks like he has. He's considering whether or not it's worth it.
He'd have to heal 2.
He has at least 8, but you need 2 crits, and you'll need usually 12 dice to have even odds on that.
Honestly, I think this is partly a decision on if he goes down to 1 fighter. He can more. Yeah, he's spending it.
He's going for it. All right.
Wow.
A reckless move, perhaps. But
we're gonna bring the dice tray up.
Potential for
we're somewhere in the range of 9 or 10.
If we see 2 or more crits on this roll.
Nothing.
Ooh,
oh, hangs his head.
But there's a few more dice coming in.
Nothing.
None.
And the last one.
So we need 1 more.
Enough.
Does he have any other? And he shakes his head no. So Herax brought back up to 0 health, but that is not enough to save him. So now no Blood Tide left, and Final Frenzy is off the table.
Daniela granting himself a smile there.
I think he got away with one.
You love to see Final Frenzy off the board already.
Oh, absolutely. From his position, knowing that the Gorehulk, well, now on 2, potentially more shields later in the game, will not have Utter Ignorance or Final Frenzy to save him. So if you can get the damage out, you can be pretty secure in finishing off the Gorehulk.
Now, Matteo is in a real dangerous position. We got Sunder the Realm. He's going to try and put one more point of damage. I think that'll do
one to
yep.
Lasavir. And again, evasive not helpful here because it will reduce to a minimum of 1. You can't reduce that, so.
So this is setting up Gorehulk to come in and use that high accuracy attack, be able to finish the deal there. By Lasavir having Blade Catcher, Lasavir is saying, if you want to use your high accuracy attack, yeah, here we go.
It'll only do 1 damage because you can't have Grievous, but now we only need 1. If this fails, though, considering Lasavir has Fury of Akshi, Gorehulk can only charge.
Is done, right?
He has to hit this attack. Trying to find the right position.
Yeah. So there's some whether he's got Arena Mortis in hand or whether he's worried about it being in the other hand. Keen eye, adding even more accuracy to it.
Because he really does have to land this attack. Should he miss, he's in a very bad spot.
Yep.
So this will be, I believe, 6 dice coming in.
Oh my goodness.
And
oh my goodness.
Only the 1 success. Pretty crippling here. There is a chance for Lasavir could fail on 2 dodge. And nope,
crit.
There's a crit.
Wow,
So
wow.
Slapping the table in disappointment. Frustrated Matteo. Slams his cards down on the table. I think he knows that that might be the game for him. Leans back hard in his chair, hands behind his head. Impassive. No ability to read the emotions on Daniele here, but you've got to imagine he's feeling good.
Daniele free to just keep on pouring the damage on. 1 success there. One defense.
Success. Yep. So,
but obviously he's going to use
the
Lashing Blades.
Wicked Strike is the ability that every time Lasavir attacks, choose a fighter within 2 hexes of that fighter and inflict 1 damage. So 1 goes on the Gorehulk regardless, and he's not driving him back because of Fury of Akshi. So now we have the Gorehulk stuck in that position. Only action he's allowed to take is a charge. With the charge token, there's nothing he can do. So expect a focus out of Matteo here. Counting how many cards he has remaining in each pile, wondering how many he wants to discard for this focus action. If he can manage to get a push card out of this focus, he can get away from Lasavir and possibly do something else more impactful. But you've got to gamble here. Yeah. I think it's really his only play. You can't just sit there and let attacks come in towards you.
So he discarded, we're not sure which power card, but he discarded 1 to draw 2. Now he's looking to see if anything he's got to play. It
Seems
says
like
pass.
He did not get what he wanted.
Here we got the score. Unrelenting Massacre, big score.
All fighters have charged. That's big 3 for Daniele, who already was in the lead. Only card he scored, though, but you don't need to win by a lot. You just got to win. Matteo is evening the score up here with a few cards of his own, though.
Looks like we're 9-7. Utter ignorance coming down on the Gorehulk.
It's the best use of glory that he's got. Countdown tracker should advance, may even get up to 3, so Gorehulk could potentially be on 3 shields at the start of this round.
It's another argument for delving. A hammer?
1 hammer and not a hammer, so despite having the tiebreaker on his side, Daniele is still able to steal it from Matteo. All right. Daniele taking the first action. You got to imagine this is Vexmore coming in. Crit and 2 successes.
And
not enough to stop it.
So
that'll be 3 damage and some surges.
Wow.
Matteo just nodding his head, understanding what's happening to him. This game is running away from him quickly. Now we are playing a best of 3, and I would not count Matteo out after what we saw from him yesterday.
Not at all. Gorehulk is going to need at least 2 attacks to drop him at this point, though, with that utter ignorance and no way with Vile Temptation gone to remove it. Third round of the first game of the match, the finals of the World Championships of Warhammer Underworlds, the 2nd edition being showcased here Thanks for everybody who's in the chat.
Utter ignorance coming out again for Lasavir as well. So should Lasavir take fatal damage, they will not, and instead be left on 1 health remaining. So kind of a bad break there for Matteo. He'll have to hit Lasavir twice in order to get away from that.
Now, if you're wondering why that went down on Lasavir instead of Vexmore, I'm thinking it's because of that Fury of Akshi.
Yes.
Yeah.
He really wants to get away from there, and that would prevent him from being locked into a charge. Killing Lasavir would free him from that, but now he'll have to make the hard choice of needing to do it twice. So
well, he'll have to charge.
And he'll have to take the lower probability attack from range 2 if he wants to be free from that, and Lasavir will survive and can close the distance again.
Lasavir will survive, and then Lasavir will charge back at him, lock him down.
Yes.
Oof.
So just because Daniela is up doesn't mean he's willing to cede any advantage. He's still playing as hard as he can, trying to make sure that any tricks Matteo might have aren't going to stop him. Now we have a Cataclysm card staggering both of those fighters to increase the probability that Gorechosen does land his attack. May not be enough to save him, but you've got to take every chance you can.
I'd be interested in flipping through their decks and figuring out. I think they have taken every single positioning card from either side of their pairing, both of them.
I imagine they would have.
We've seen so much jockeying for position, dancing around with the pushes back and forth, really highlighting the value of a push.
There is a comment in the chat about printed cards. We can see that Daniela is using some grayscale cards here. That's true. Games Workshop has been able to deliver the official cards to the players here, but my assumption is Daniela choosing not to re-sleeve from his printed proxies he was given earlier. Some players are very superstitious at this top level. He succeeded with these so far. Why mess with a good thing?
Do we think the Gorechosen is moving into this position because he might also have Fury of Akshi, Rage of Akshi?
All right, taking that high probability attack. He does have a reroll from Stagger. So 6 dice coming out, and he's going to reroll one of those flanked results, or perhaps not.
It looks like he must be on Vexmore. As far as I can tell, there's only 1 dice. We'll see in a
crit
second.
Could possibly reduce the damage. So the reroll done, no effect. No crit, and he is not an evasive fighter, so he cannot reduce the damage.
That's 3
Vexmore
for Matteo.
slain, and that is 3 bounty and 3 blood tithe coming out, and a surge scored for Matteo. So he is still in it. And we're actually, I believe, tied now at 11. With Vexmore out, Lasavir has the capacity to slay the Gorechosen, of course, but it's going to be a little more difficult.
There it is. Fury of Akshi.
So now both fighters only able to charge from here on out unless they can find a way to get that charge token off. And with no other fighter to pass it to, it limits some of the Reckless Fury's ability to manipulate those tokens. So here in round 3, Lasavir's next attack may be the last. And with utter ignorance, unable to be removed, it's possible that neither fighter is going to die here. So we may just have to rely on who has the better end phase situation to determine who will be the winner.
Oof. This is nervous. This is all deck knowledge, right?
They do have very thorough knowledge of each other's decks. We saw last game players handing each other their scored pile, saying, what have you scored? What might you have next? Doing the same here for both players, because it really is going to come down to this third end phase. If one player can edge out, then they will win. Now, notably, if this ends on tiebreakers, no one's holding any objectives right now. Lasavir could potentially charge on to objective 5 to break that tiebreaker, but if that doesn't work, the fighter with more bounty available on the table, that tie would break towards the Gorechosen here. So either player able to win on tiebreakers if they can't win outright, depending on how things end.
All of a sudden, it was huge for Daniela to have the first action step of this round, but I think having the last one here might be pretty appealing at this point.
And depending on the result of Daniela's action, Matteo will have the knowledge of the current board state and will be able to make better use of any focus action he might take next to ensure that he has the better end phase scoring. accurate going on, so another reroll available. Perhaps he has a attack-based surge because there's no way to take the Gorehulk down. Couldn't possibly kill him with the cards that are out on the table.
Driven by pain. If Lassevier was crazy enough to drive back the Gorehulk will heal.
Now again, we know that he can't die, and that might be a good thing to be able to get positioning. So here, Daniela thinking the same thing about tiebreakers as I was. Getting onto treasure token 5 may be the thing that seals him the deal. So he'll take the attack here. May drive him back without caring for the results of a heal because he needs to create some space to allow him to maybe make a move later if that's what he needs for his end phase.
We still have a Cataclysm value of 2, which means that the Gorehulk will be defending on 2 dice.
All right, there is a reroll on this attack. Lassevier throwing what I believe to be 3 hammers.
The Gorehulk has great fortitude out as well, so
will not be slain. And has utter ignorance, so even if something fancy happens, it's not going to take him out. Crit and a success with 1 reroll. Scores him. Branching Fate. Oh, Matteo throws his head on the table. He can't believe it. And a crit and a success. So the attack does no damage. Will he drive him back and heal him to create some separation, or will he rely on Fury of Action to lock Matteo's options down?
I think the damage didn't
go through.
It wasn't the point here.
That was not. No, it was to score those 2 attack-based objectives, and Matteo knows it. Daniele just possibly secured the win for himself there, taking a 2 glory lead.
The question to be answered is going to be, is there a push anywhere left in the deck for either of these? We have a focus going on right now. I'm seeing 1 objective being drawn, and I'm seeing 1 power card being drawn.
And then a pass, so he did not get the card he was hoping for. Some upgrades coming out. Oh, these are all revealing the things we're focusing. Yeah, keep chopping being thrown because he can't make 3 attacks, so can't score that. So both trying to position themselves as well as possible for this 3rd end phase as we're about to head in to see who comes out on top at the end of Game 1 in this 2024 Warhammer Underworlds final match between 2 Italians fighting for the World Championship title.
Simon asking what else is on the top table. Is the top 16 cut? I think we landed on 10 Dromm.
10 Dromms in the top 16. Now, again, the top 16 is not actually finalized. Players in the Worlds pool have the capacity to jump up in the standings. Players who are in the 5th through 16th position have the chance to fall out of that top 16 and may not earn themselves a golden ticket invite back next year. So still a lot to go on, but the top 4 who are locked in is going to have 3 Dromms and 1 Thricefold.
Matteo looking through Daniele's scored objectives, shaking his head.
Comment from Sean Reynolds in the chat that a lot of players with limited time to practice may have chosen Dromm simply because they could do the always be charging ABC style, which was a common conception at the start of the tournament, but we've seen that those Gorechosen who have done the best are often actually doing a lot of positional play and some very technical things, not always attacking and not always charging. It's not necessarily as straightforward as it looks, and with limited practice time, those players with better game knowledge and things beyond just dice luck are the ones who have piloted themselves to the top tables. All right, Daniela's 4th activation. Not sure what he can do with it besides focus, unless he wants to play a power card first.
Now it's Matteo's turn to sit back and put his hands on the back of his head.
Just letting Daniela stew in some anxiety for a while. That said, if I'm Daniela, I don't know what's in their hands, but I feel pretty comfortable with a 2 glory lead. Matteo will have to make up at least 2 glory in the end phase, and as it stands right now, Daniela has the tiebreaker.
Trifos agree. Reckless Fury, very strong. The charge token manipulation on its surface does some great things for some surprise extra activations. It's especially powerful in elite warbands. And then as we've seen with Reckless Attitudes and with Fury of Action, it has 2 extraordinarily powerful control tools in it.
All right.
I can't do that, can he?
Can't put himself on guard. Matteo gesturing that that's not possible with Fury of Action. The only thing you can do is charge. So instead he will play Illusory Fighter.
And then playing Reckless Attitudes. Just making sure that if Matteo has any kind of push, there's no chance he's going to be able to.
Yeah, even if you get away from me, you still have to charge, and you can't charge. So strong counter there. And that will head to the end phase.
1, 2, 3, 4, I think. And 6 in return.
Players now discussing who won. We'll find out. Matteo gave a bit of a clap like he thought he had gotten away with it. It should be 6 for Matteo and what looks like 4 for Daniele, which would leave them tied by my count. And now we go to tiebreakers. Both players discussing exactly who it is that won this game.
We're going to confirm. We believe it's 17-17, won on tiebreakers. Oh, 17-16.
Ah, we must have miscounted somewhere.
Like
Matteo actually seems to have snagged that 17-16. And despite looking like he was on the ropes there, winning it by 1.
I think it's one of the.
We're going to have to count to confirm. Very important we get this right.
Okay. Yep, 17-16. That one goes to the Gorechosen of Dromm.
I'll admit I did not see that coming. I felt like Daniele was in a very powerful position heading into the final end phase. So we've seen already that the knowledge of each other's decks coming into play very strong here. Matteo knowing exactly what he needed to do in order to take it, and commandingly getting a 6 glory end phase with only 1 fighter locked in place. Pretty hard to do. That focus possibly drawing him exactly the card he needed at just the right time. So we're getting a couple questions in the chat about who won. Both players calling for a break now. As far as we can tell from the table and based on, I think it's pretty confident now, we had on our tracker on the screen, we're miscounting. The end score was Daniele and the Gorechosen was 17. My apologies. Matteo with the Gorechosen was 17. Daniele having only 16. So Matteo does win that by 1 glory, and the Gorechosen are up 1-0 heading into game 2. Players calling time. It looks like they're going to go get some water, shake their heads out. It was probably a pretty draining round for both of them.
Absolutely. Right down to the wire for them.
We've had a couple of games this tournament come down to the last activation, who can roll those dice. But here we saw those last activations being power card draws, swapping out of objectives, who can focus the best instead of who can roll the best dice being the determiner here.
Yeah.
Something I didn't expect to see in the World Tournament Finals, but that's how tight this game has been.
Absolutely. Daniele was apparently in a strong Lincoln position. Matteo, with that celebration, seemed to be, obviously excited, but wasn't sure until the cards were shown that he had it. He had a good sense.
He immediately knew he had won that match, so he was keeping better track than we were. But since these two do know each other and their decks so well, he was very early able to identify that.
Yeah. So, Matteo. Judge Brian coming over to tell us he assumed that Daniele was going to be able to focus into Arena Mortis on the draw. He knew that Daniela hadn't scored it yet, but did not successfully draw into it. Looks
So
like
yeah, that
if
was the stress there. Was
Yeah.
saying, I know he has this card. I
Yep.
know it hasn't been scored. If that focus gave it to him, then Daniela will take this game from me.
Yeah.
Seeing the cards on the table, seeing Arena Mortis not in that pile, he
Yeah.
immediately knew he had secured the victory.
Yeah. Wow. It looks like he drew into bloody momentum instead, which was something that would have helped him out
If
earlier.
he had gotten
in
it
the
earlier,
game,
but that's not how it shook out.
Can't ask for better than a one glory down to a card draw. Sometimes we say it comes down to a dice roll. There were some crucial ones there. This is down to a card draw.
Yeah, the way the deck is shuffled is another element of randomization, and the players can only control so much. This is a skill-based game to be sure, but we are not playing chess. We're playing Warhammer Underworlds.
Yeah. I mean, it's managing those risks there. Their options became pretty limited at the end.
Sure.
But even so, those last positioning choices were pretty crucial.
All right. Well, players are on a break. They'll come back in a little bit. We'll probably take a break as well, and we'll resume the stream once they're ready to go again.
That sounds good.
All right, so our Italian heroes are back, ready to play their second game. Let's recap for people who might have joined late. We're currently witnessing Daniela of Italy using the Thricefold Discord, pairing with the Reckless Fury and Blazing Assault deck, very aggressive pairing, against his teammate, Matteo, also of Italy, using Gorechosen of Dromm with the very interesting Reckless Fury and Countdown to Cataclysm pairing, which I don't believe many other Dromms are using at this event. So far, very tight game decided in the third end phase based on a series of focus actions, which is not something we've seen so far. And that has brought Matteo up 1-0 in this set, winning the last game by only 1 glory, which he did not know he would secure until the cards came out.
We saw some crucial cards out there. We talked some about the pings, but really one of the things that I was particularly impressed by is the improvised attack. It's the countdown to Cataclysm. Number of dice equal to the Cataclysm value.
Which at that time was only 1.
It was 1. But the thing was, it effectively became a distraction. It shoved the fighter away just at a crucial moment. I mean, that's exactly what he wanted. I don't think he hardly cared about the damage.
No, the damage was secondary to his goals. He wanted the drive back, and he got it. And that actually was very impactful that second round.
Both players all smiles.
Noticeably, one of the things that mattered was several of the rolls went against Matteo at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
Now, he's considered to have automatically won the roll-off for the second game, so he will get to orient the boards, choose its side and facing, which does give him an advantage and forces Daniela to place the first token. So coming off a win and starting the second game in a better position, you've got to imagine Matteo's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. We've got one of my Wisconsin hometowners saying that you sound like Matt LePage announcing the Badgers. So probably doesn't mean too much to you coming in from the Seattle area, but can I get a rondane from you? We are shuffling and cutting. I don't know that there's too many adjustments to be made on either side there.
No, I think both played just about as well as you could. It kind of came down to some dice rolls and which cards were out at the right time. Both players intimately familiar with this game, each other, their own decks, and their opponent's decks. So you expect basically every move across this whole entire match is going to be the optimum best play with the information that those players have. I didn't see either of these players make an error in judgment through the previously streamed games we had them on. And I didn't see either one make an error in judgment in the game we just watched, which means that effectively perfect play out of both up to this point. You've got to imagine that the stress is building. It's been a long, draining tournament for them both, undefeated through all of their matches. But one of them does have to fall today, and it may not even be their fault.
See all the other matches still fully engaged here.
Can't tell exactly where. I think the third and fourth place match between the English James and the Canadian Maxim is in its second game. I do not know who won the first game, and I do not know exactly how that one shook out. Body language is telling me James has more of a command over there, but that's just based on feelings and not actual facts.
Looking on positional vibes.
All right, I've been requested to yell touchdown Wisconsin. I'll do my best. I don't know, do we give some kind of flair to this? How much aggression do I put into it?
So you've naturally fallen into this comparison. We're just going to see if you can naturally fall into the correct cadence there.
Touchdown Wisconsin.
Not as many of those this year as you'd like to see, but
it's okay. The University of Washington having similar problems. UW fans, both of us here, though we may disagree on what color that W should be.
We got some block texts, it looks like Mateo's considering.
Very interesting. Matteo thinking about putting those block texts down now, reconsidering orienting the board perhaps in a different orientation. Still in the 5s so far, which, as we've said, is generally better for aggressive play.
He's explaining exactly what his reasoning is to Daniela.
No reason to hide that. They both probably know what the other's thinking. Putting it back over to the non-block text side.
I think there's only one more orientation we can consider.
I mean, he wins this game, he's a world champion.
Yeah.
And you'd hate to say that your choice in the board orientation lost it for you. So you really do have to look hard at all 4 choices.
You know, for those who are more familiar with the first edition, that had more boards being selected, more board arrangement choices, to see the World Finals being considered this way so carefully. I mean, these players certainly think that the choice is important here.
I've said it before, and it was very strong evidence in the first edition for this, but apparently today we're learning as well in the second edition. The Italian team spends a lot of time thinking about boards in
Yeah.
ways that other groups don't.
Yeah.
Monkey's Hex blog, for those who have ever read it, one of the best sources of information for the boards themselves, orientations, positioning, placement, choice. Those are the things that the Italian team has spent a lot of time thinking about, and maybe one of the reasons why all three of them made the top 16 cut, because even though there's fewer boards to choose from, it doesn't make that choice any less impactful.
Right.
And we may see a little more focus on boards from the rest of the field. America not doing so hot this year. We might have to step our game up.
There's sometimes where you play and you say, it's better than me. But, like I get there and like I might get sometimes watching these guys play. I'm like, I don't know if this is a level I could even think to achieve. Like this is that level of knowing exactly what to expect, because, we talk a lot about how they're sparring partners. They know each other's decks very well. But this kind of like analysis of the opponent's deck, that was going on all tournament long, real impressive that they were able to keep that in mind. I can't usually remember, what I have and have not scored.
I'm not even aware of my own deck half the time. How am I supposed to, on the fly, calculate what my opponent may have as well?
Yeah.
Just a great degree of skill out of both players.
I think we saw earlier on the stream a player getting ready to decide if he was going to focus, and he had only one or two cards left in his deck, and hands kept coming up to his head. He couldn't remember what they were. These guys, it's about remembering what's in the other person's deck. That's the next level they've gotten to.
All right, so Vexmore in a central position a little further back. Notably, this game, Matteo has opted to take the 9s orientation, where there is more space in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Extra places for those treasure tokens to have gone down. Now, still only one in neutral territory this time, but the engagement distance will start a little further back, possibly forcing some more charges, maybe making Vexmore work a little harder to get that first strike.
I think
having that choice, that may be what he was thinking.
This orientation 9s on this also makes the Sunder the Realm zone,
much
neutral
larger,
territory.
And he's the one with the countdown deck, so he wants more opportunities to use that damage.
Yep. And again, Lassevier being held as the more important fighter. Last game we saw Lassevier come down second, this time third. Daniele clearly valuing Lassevier quite highly.
Gorehulk being placed surprisingly far back. Most Dromm players at this tournament have been placing him front and center, saying, "You cannot hide from me. I will double charge at will." Matteo taking a different strategy, which may be why we're seeing him here at the top table and not others.
Interesting here. Lassevier. We got
a flank result here and a surrounded, which is actually the better of the two in this current roll-off set. And Matteo quite satisfied. Not only did he get the boards, he also gets priority for first turn. And he's going to force an action out from his opponent first, opting to take the last move of the round.
Daniele, no hesitation, knew exactly what he wanted. There's a crit and nothing from Dromm.
Dodge won't do it.
Dromm's going to take 2 right out of the gate.
2 and knock him back onto a token. 1 blood tithe coming out though. Oh, and only 1 damage because Vashtis is not inspired.
Right, not
My
inspired.
Apologies. Arax coming in.
Wow, some big charges. Arax does not want to whiff this because that puts him
3 swords here. We got 1 crit.
Like
defense from Daniele is 1 shield, so that'll be a tie. No damage, no blood tithe. But Vexmore even further out of the game now. Herax is his only reasonable target, and he will have to pick up a move or charge token to use it, thus turning off his indolent ability. No damage done because he rolled a success on both rolls, meaning no inspired Thricefold yet.
The engagement distance is so elevated here. Last game we remarked about how,
that Call of Blood pulling into the corner.
Call of Blood being used to push people away from the fight, not how Call of Blood thought it was going to be used. And there must have been a push of 2 there.
All right. We've got
Daniele playing crisply. He knows exactly what he wants each time.
Bexmore's found himself put back in. I'm not sure if that was commanding stride or what,
Oh, I
but
think
the
that's a good
here it
guess.
is again. One die, but a failure this time. Going for that drive back rather than the damage. Still rolling his defense in hopes to inspire a fighter, but unfortunately successful, which is a thrice-fold player's common refrain. I wish I had failed by more. And attacking back now, one crit into one flanked will not save him, so that's going to be a bunch of damage coming out on Herax here.
Bexmore, not one to be shown up by Vastus, decides that I'll roll a crit and surrounded result too, and I'll get my hit in as well. Mine's better.
And noticeably did not need to move or charge.
Sally fourth being scored.
So that allows the Gorechosen to gain a glory because he was not driven back, which still seems like the right play because it lets Vexmore swing again, but handing over one glory for that choice.
Should be seeing, yeah, we're about to see the second activation from the Gorechosen. Unless the Gorehulk has some movement tech, he's not going to have a charge this turn, but I don't think you deploy him that far back unless you do. I have to imagine that 0 glory upgrade for
headlong charge for +2 move. Well, and then one thing I have heard some Gorechosen players say is if they are somehow unable to make that first charge, you can move and enrage a fighter with a move token. So you'll only get one charge out of it, but you do have the capacity to charge with the enrage ability despite being deployed so far back. Probably hoping to bait Lasavir forward in order to hit him instead. And making sure to count hexes to see whether or not that charge is possible. 2 hammers from Dromm coming into 1 dodge. That's a failure, but it will inspire a fighter, which is possibly something that Danielle is happy to see, even with the damage coming his way.
There's an attempt to reduce damage.
Does reduce the damage.
Oh, I think they need a hammer.
I'm sorry, it is a hammer or a crit. So no, 2 damage coming out on Vastus, but someone will be inspired. You got to think it might be
And a perfect cut just got scored for Matteo.
No successes on defense there, meaning that another surge coming his way. Matteo wondering if he wants to drive back or if he wants to play any cards in response. Choosing not to. All right, so Lasavir inspired. We've seen in previous games out of Daniela that he wants to focus on Dromm early. Herax is only 1 hit away from death, but inspiring Lasavir means we're probably going to see a big charge out of him soon. And without the drive back, it means flanked will be available, increasing the odds of success. If he does target Dromm, 3 hammers and 1 support against 1 shield.
He's going to need help to get there, though, because from this spot...
Not 5 away, that's true.
Yeah.
Should he manage to reach it, it's an 85% chance of success, but you're right. We're going to need to see some kind of positional play. So maybe Lasavir just closes the distance on Herax and finishes him off for 1 bounty.
I wonder if there's a play here where you charge with Vexmore so that you can get in position to Eldritch Enmity Lasavir forward. I don't think he wants Vexmore on the kill and that deep in enemy territory. We're getting an update about the other semifinal table. The 3rd and 4th place game currently going on between James and Maxim of England and Canada, respectively. Daniela thinking hard about his next option here.
Interesting thing for folks of Canada and England here. On the 3rd and 4th table, I have gotten an update. Game 1 went to James 23-8, dominant performance. So England up 1-0 and attempting to close the door on the Canadian. Very early in the game, James was able to put lethal damage on the Gorehulk, did 6 of the wounds to cover a couple of attacks. Gorehulk goes down very early in the game with only 6 blood tithe.
Wow.
Maxim, knowing he's fighting for his tournament life, decides to use a Final Frenzy with only 6 dice
Okay.
gets 2 crits, and the Gore Hulk survives. So Canadian's not out of it yet. James still in a commanding position, but it is not over on the 3rd place table.
Daniele leaning forward.
Both hands on his forehead, scratching behind his ears now. Matteo looking up at the ceiling and sighing. I think they're both pretty stressed, wouldn't you say?
There's a smile. Just assessing the damage on fighters.
Mateo's actually scooted his table back. He's bent all the way over, hands on his knees.
We did see Matteo, I think, physically lift Daniele into the air after his semifinal win. They started jumping, then they were hugging, then they were jumping and hugging, and then
they sang some song in Italian, but to the tune of Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. So you know that they're both happy to be here, regardless of who wins. They know that one of their friends is coming home world champion, and that's got to be a good feeling.
Vexmore picking up headlong charge.
All right, so Vexmore's covered.
Oh, that means Vexmore can get in on Dromm.
On Dromm, yes. But it looks like he's counting hexes towards either target, wondering exactly what he wants to do.
That's
Matteo wondering who exactly is in danger right now.
Yeah. What's the big idea here?
If he does charge towards one of those forward targets, though, then we don't have the capacity to push Lasavir into range of the big guys by using Eldritch Enmity. So,
there he goes. Daniela's going in.
All right, this will be 2 hammers because it's not with Indolent, but it is flanked. 2 hammers with 1 support against 1 shield.
Oh, 1 because he's not inspired. Success.
Right, so a draw, but it did score him a surge, so still value out of that attack. I'd forgotten that he chose not to inspire Vexmore.
It'd be interesting to see if Daniela has some way to manufacture a push of some kind to get Dromm a little closer, and then come in with a
surrounded result, even possibly.
Either that, or I imagine Lasavir may go to finish off Herrick's and then get involved as well.
Maybe the best choice for him. Set himself up for another charge in the next round. Matteo continuing to count hexes, wondering, do I have a Lasavir attack coming my way? What can I do to protect against that? Knowing he has to protect Dromm early, he chooses to
he's braced.
Use a charge token.
Yep. This is
now he's charged out. And that allows
Dromm to make another attack.
Oh.
Bro, the counter, reckless attitude.
But you have to charge. And now that all 3 fighters have charge tokens, he's effectively taken an activation away. Matteo upset. He didn't predict that coming. Maybe he knew it was a risk and took it anyway. But now that the Gore Hulk has a charge token, locked out of activation here. Effectively only a focus available now, unless he can take one of those tokens back off, wasting 2 power cards.
That got reaction from everybody around the table. Even the judge turned.
Did you guys see that? Incredibly powerful card in the right setup. Reckless Attitudes has been for elites, both on either side of the table. One of the reasons to consider playing a 4 or more fighter warband, but those are the risks you take.
We have 2 glory for the Gorechosen, 1 for the Thrice Full Discord, and neither having spent any because the only upgrade out is headlong charge on Vexmore, and that's a free upgrade. It's 0. I can see in Matteo's hand, he's got the card for attacking with 4 dice.
But the Gore Hulk isn't going to be able to do that for him now.
Yep. Not going to have that surge this
round.
round.
Taking the focus action only to draw a card. I don't think he discarded anything.
Yep.
Right, passing power.
Oh.
Oh. using Lure of Battle. And now we do have a world where Lasavir can charge in Inspired, 3 hammers, and Surrounded. And that is Illusory Fighter, possibly? No.
Looks like there was a surge for 1 glory scored by Daniele. Did not catch what it was, going by too quick.
It's been after the power step. Something conditional is met.
I saw a nod of consent from Matteo, so it may have been something that would have scored. Oop, got an upgrade coming out. Looks like Keen Eye on Dromm, which would be surprising.
Well, he probably won't die on this next attack.
Oh, I know what's happening. Dromm is charging back out of range with Enrage. Well played. He's got the 1 crit.
Vastus is not inspired, so only 1 defense, and that's a failure, but it will inspire his other fighter.
He's going to try and reduce the damage to live.
And there's a hammer, which is what he needed, so surviving on 1 wound, Vastus still hanging on.
Let's see if we can get an updated blood tithe count from the judge here. Blood tithe count currently at 2.
Matteo looking over and smiling, upset about how things have gone, but, in good-natured fashion. Glad my friend was able to pull such a smart play on me.
How cool is that? We saw Enraged used defensively.
Yeah.
He's like, I am out of pushes. I'm going to use Enraged to get out of danger.
The kill is fine, but I actually need to take a sidestep backwards to get away from you with Enrage. Lots of tactical play available, and Matteo showing us that it is not all about pressing forward with the Gorechosen, that there's a lot of other things you can do. Very cagey play out of both. I'm enraged. I'm so mad. I'm leaving this conversation. I'm going to my room. Don't bother me.
We are back onto Daniele's activation. Unless I'm mistaken, this should be his last. I believe he went first. Yes, he did. He sent Vastus in right away.
Yeah, Matteo winning the roll-off, forcing Daniele to take the first action. So we'll have the opportunity to attack again if anyone's in position.
If he doesn't have a route forward to manufacture another attempt at attacking with Lasavir.
The only real play is to charge Herax and get him off the board. And who is occupying a token with the charge in enemy territory could possibly set up an end phase score out of Reckless Fury or countdown to Cataclysm. You've got to know that Daniele is aware of the risk there, considering his options.
Yeah. Get it done.
And get it done, handing the charge token off, which means that Vastus no longer bearing a charge token, and she will be able to do something else. Now the question is, what's that going to be?
That is a surprising choice to me. I would have thought you would have wanted to make this attack with
Vexmore go again, yeah.
But I'm guessing that he's definitely going to. That tells me that he wants all charge tokens out there, right? And so this play is getting him. This play is protecting Vastus by retreating. If Vastus can get this attack and drive back, then there won't be any counterpunch from Dromm.
Vastus is not inspired, so throwing 2 hammers here, but with the knife, possibly 2 damage.
We say not inspired, so possibly
not
2.
Inspired.
Yep.
Will be 2 damage if it hits for 2 hammers against Dromm's 1 shield.
A crit.
And not a success. There. So that'll be 2 damage on Dromm, and the drive back already happening. Meaning Dromm can't punch back. And again, for his next activation, kind of out of options here. Might be able to take a move. He's already used Call of Blood. And Daniele using the War Scroll ability for the thrice full Discord feuding. He's uninspired 1 fighter and inspired another. So taking inspiration away from Lasavir and giving it to Vastus, so she is now on 2 dodge and slightly more survivable in case Matteo does have some way to get an attack back on her.
Daniele has to be concerned about Sunder the Realm here. I think that's what he's playing for. He was worried about Sunder the Realm maybe finishing him off. Did we call it correctly? Oh my gosh.
All right. Got to land in the tray. And 1 damage on Vexmore.
taking wounds, but Lassevier not.
Yeah, very fortunate for Daniela there.
I like that I got to that conclusion about 2 minutes after Daniela had already thought about it. Everybody with charge tokens, we could see a unrelenting massacre.
Yeah, we do know that that is a card in Thricefold's deck. I don't believe it's in Matteo's.
No, I think we would have seen it.
That means that there's possibly 3 glory coming Daniela's way, which, seeing as we're 2-2 right now, would be a very big swing. That is, I think, a pretty big score.
It looks like Bloody Momentum, Keep Chopping, and Field of Blood for 4 for Daniele. 4
now
for
it
Daniele.
Is 5 on his side of the table, 6 glory on his side of the table. Matteo laughing because what can you do?
Laughing, I wonder if he's just at least relieved that there wasn't also Unrelenting Massacre in there. That could have been worse. Arena Mortis.
Cataclysm for 2.
Cataclysm is, yeah, Spread Havoc.
Still 4 coming out, and that means that it's still a tie game.
Wow.
But yes, knowing that Unrelenting Massacre was a potential there, and he got away with not giving up 3 glory, taking instead a less valuable card. Some relief, though. As fighters begin to be taken off the table, it will get easier and easier to score, unless Matteo particularly works to counter it.
We're going to have a roll-off with no underdog. I think, yeah, we have Matteo playing out some upgrades. So we have Keen Eye still on Dromm. Maybe Headlong Charge sitting on the Gore Hulk. It's important to have far back as he is.
Yeah, he'll need an extra mobility to get into the fight.
Fury of Akshi.
Lots of tech going out on the Gore Hulk.
We've got a Kagra's one from one that I think has Kagra pictured on it from Countdown to Cataclysm.
Take a look at that card. That is called Great Fortitude from that deck. This fighter has +1 health, so the Gore Hulk, a 7 health fighter at this point.
We have a tie with no underdog.
And that one is going to go to Daniela, unless I'm mistaken. They accidentally knocked Lassevier there, so making sure they know the position. Both players, of course, knowing exactly how far away that Lassevier was from being able to charge Dromm earlier. So easy to replace the positioning there. So Daniela winning the roll-off, opting to go first and charge the inspired Vastus around the corner there, probably to put a little bit more damage on Dromm, who is 2 health away from death. So with her inspired profile, she can hit at range 2 for 2 hammers and 2 damage. So could kill Dromm here.
And
he doesn't stand fast.
Matteo apparently having made his peace with that, given that he chose to put Great Fortitude over on the Gore Hulk. He's decided that that's the fighter he's going to try to close out with. Countercharge.
Countercharge will bring the Gore Hulk in, providing flanked results. And notably locking her down with Fury of Akshi afterward. Determined effort. There's no underdog. So just +1 dice. He will score a surge as a result of this. So Vastus are about to throw 3 hammers. 2 successes.
2 successes.
So praying for a crit here is Matteo. And does not get it. So that'll be 2 damage.
That's a big
Dromm is
kill.
slain. Thinking very hard about whether or not he wants to use Final Frenzy here. Not inspired yet, so it would be a significant cost and really slowing down his inspiration, but Keeping Dromm alive may still be worth it for him.
I'm assuming if we're putting wound counters on him, we are going to see a final frenzy.
Yep, he's chosen to do it.
Go.
And no crits in the
it's
roll.
2 games in a row.
Oh, terrible for him. Lamenting. Loud, angry Italian noises coming out of him.
I was uno. Just one more, I think.
Just need one, but it was not enough. So 3 bounty there towards Daniela, which will put him ahead. He did score the surge as well, so he's now up by 4. Final Frenzy is gone, and 0 Blood Tithe remaining on Matteo's side. This is a bad position for him to be in. At least he's able to move his Cataclysm tracker.
Not totally insignificant there, because we can expect to see absolute conviction come down to the Gorehulk. Herrick's is in trouble. Herrick's is most likely to be the next to fall here.
Herrick's is doing his job.
Yeah.
He made it to Treasure Token 2. He's happy to hang out there for now.
Yep.
Might also be able to block the All Fighters Have Charged 3 glory card out of Reckless Fury, so maybe he'll just stay there.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of attempts at doing that. I don't know if Matteo just says, hey, if you got it, you got it, but we'll see. I think we have, we're on Daniele considering whether to play something to power step here. Now
he's early in the game, already inspecting each other's discard piles. Again, for context, we are in round 2 of game 2. Matteo with the Gorechosen having taken the first one, but currently behind in this game. If that shakes out, we'll be going to a third to determine the world champion. Vexmore getting an upgrade here out of Reckless Fury. No, that's Headlong Charge, which he already had.
Yep. Just spreading a little bit for readability. So the Gorehulk can try to pummel away, rip that last health off of Vastus. He does have on his uninspired side let's look that one up again just to be sure.
He has I want to say it's difficult to read from here. I've effectively memorized their inspired profiles with how often we've seen them, but uninspired Gorehulk I don't know as well. All right, so we have staggering multiple fighters equal to the Cataclysm value. Looks like he's chosen to stagger Lasavir, and I believe he had chosen to stagger Vastus as well, though the token has not yet come out on the table.
Lasavir just picked up absolute conviction. We know right away that when
healing potion to put Vexmore back to full health. I guess there's no value in giving it to Vastus because she's done for either way, but she does have Utter Ignorance.
Utter Ignorance. I think I said the wrong thing.
That'll keep her from being slain the first time.
Herrick's coming in.
All right, Herrick's deciding to join the party. There is a stagger back there, looking for swords. None, but he does have one reroll. And there's one.
Got one.
All right, so just one because uninspired, needed a dodge. Could reduce the damage with evasive here, but since it was range 2 and only 1 damage, you can't reduce it to 0, and therefore Daniele not bothering to roll there. Now, notably, he rolled no successes in his defense, but the inspiration condition requires you to pick a different fighter to inspire. You can't really get happy about your own failures. So, still an uninspired Lasavir there. And that one is going to be, I believe, Keen Eye for +1 attack dice on Vexmore. If he charges, he'll have to give one up, but he'll have one now from the upgrade, still being able to throw 3 hammers. Counting how far away he is, how far the Gorehulk can move or charge. considering his options. That looks like illusory fighter. Getting Vexmore out of the way of the Gorehulk and
Wow.
able to apply some. Well, that may have been a charge.
It was a charge.
Oh,
Just a
no
long
successes,
ways.
but he does get Branching Fate, so at least there's that. Matteo laughing. You can't have some good luck without some bad. And just stomping his foot and laughing. That inspires Lassevier as well, putting Lassevier on 2 dodge and making them twice as hard to take out. Not what Matteo wanted to see. You got to be happy with Herax alive, but you can't be happy with the rest of that sequence.
I think we should have seen, unless he discarded overwhelming force. I'm not sure if that scored yet. The Gorehulk has got that in the back pocket. That's the surge for making an attack with 4 dice. He's got that whenever he wants it. If that has not yet been scored, we saw it. I got a little glimpse of it in Mateo's hand.
Right.
Glory counts good. 11.
Daniela picking up some
7.
dice, preparing to roll defense here. They've declared whichever attack is coming in. Trying to make sure they know which activation it is, which turn, who had first turn. Lots of trackers on these custom Italian cards they've brought in. So pretty useful for being able to keep track of the game. These are easy things to forget. Who went first, who's going to have the last activation.
Yep.
So nice that they've been able to template them for themselves. There's 4 dice coming in.
That's actually defendable. Wow.
So.
And a defense.
Success.
So not only a defense on that, but retaining absolute ignorance for another day.
That means that she is not slain, does not break the card, and has at least 2 more attacks to take her out. Showing the uninspired Gorehulk tape across the table because, again, how often do we see this? Uninspired Gorehulk, kind of a rare sight these days.
There it is.
But he does have the I threw 4 dice card. So at least he gets something out of nothing. So,
well,
some exasperated hand motions and facial expressions out of Matteo here. He's doing everything he can, and it's just not really quite working out for him. He is ahead 1-0, so not in the worst position, but he'd prefer to just close it out here.
Miguel asking what the Thricefold deck is. It is Blazing Assault, Reckless Fury, and it is all gas. I was going to say all gas, no brakes, but honestly,
there's plenty of brakes, though. He's got some highly tuned steering mechanisms built in as well, so some kind of fighter jet. I don't know.
Yeah. We haven't seen the Ensnare upgrade. We have seen the Sharpened Points. Now, it's possible Ensnare's in there, and he hasn't chosen to play it, but
I haven't
think we
seen it yet.
By now.
You think it would have come out in the first game if he'd drawn into it, since it is pretty useful against Thricefold.
Total collapse. He's going to try and finish off.
Would do 1 damage to a fighter, and that's enough. Now.
Oh.
I suppose the attack
point was the attack had Ensnare,
and that must have done it then. Oh, you know what? You're right. It did have Ensnare. That's why I was showing the fighter card saying, look, it does have Ensnare. You're not aware of this because I trade that for Grievous when I'm inspired. But uninspired, I do have Ensnare. I did get you. Utter Ignorance is gone. And now I can finish you off with the collapse. So 2 Bounty heading over, 2 Blood Tithe, 1 fighter out of the way. And Gorehulk now free to leave that backfield and get busy on the other side of the board.
While we can continue to track Blood Tithe, there is no particular reason to do so, given that there are no abilities left on the War Scroll that use them. Daniele to 12. With the expected death of Herax. And now it's a staring match.
Gorehulk has no move or charge tokens, so could reposition himself relatively easily. The 2 Thricefold fighters in the backfield. Both with charge tokens.
Does have headlong charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not going to be inspired, so he does not have a range 2. So he's actually out of range right now. Oh, 5 is all the longer he could go. This actually has the side effect of making it so that the Masker, Unrelenting Masker, is probably not going to score if it's in his hand.
Unless there's some significant push. Hulk won't be able to charge even if he wants to, and Unrelenting Massacre isn't going to score. Now, we don't know that he'll charge because he may be working to prevent that. But it looks like it's just a move, and that is going to close the door on Unrelenting Massacre unless somehow there's a power card that Daniela can put a charge token out there on the Gore Hulk.
Monkey's Hex correctly coming to the conclusion that Ensnare was on the Gore Hulk's attack quite a bit before us.
There is a Reckless Fury card where you can activate as though you had no move or charge tokens.
Let's push through, maybe?
So, yeah, you take a damage to do it, but it allows you to be able to charge. Massive deciding to get
That's an
into
interesting.
the other side of the board.
This must be a Gore Hulk. If you want to go for somebody, you got to decide who.
Which one you want, because you can't get us both.
Looks like you're going to probably have some footage from the Warhammer team. There is a camera operator swirling around the team here.
Getting some photos and live video footage. Yeah. So expect to see some highlights from some pretty professional quality camera. It looks like Italian should be in full display. I did see once the top 8 cut was declared, they actually took them off to a little photo studio in the corner and had them each pose in their green Italian team polos. Today they're wearing the blue. So we'll get to see them in all of their finery. Looks like the Gore Hulk has chosen Vexmore to be his chosen target, which is a second move token. And then he plays a ploy.
This is the push everybody who's within
one of a stagger, popping himself over there. He's now on treasure token 4 and adjacent to Vexmore, so could attack later.
Vexmore has the ability to just walk away. I don't know if he's going to do that. Really interestingly,
Vexmore does not have the ability to walk away.
They're both charged.
No, because as you may understand, there is a card called Fury of Action on the Gore Hulk. So this push was the only way to do something besides charge, and he couldn't charge with the charge token.
Eldritch Enmity being the push that I think just fired off there.
Used previously to counter Call of Blood, but today, in order to deal with Fury of Action. So lots of ability to make use of things. Now some scoring cards come out, loaded for bear, and one other that I can't see here.
Looks like it's a oneer.
It's a Reckless Fury card. And I think it is aimed for the top, which, no, he wouldn't have scored that, so that can't be what he was looking for.
Sure looks like it. Let's have a look.
Maybe that's saying I didn't score this, because you need to have 4 enemy bounty slain, and he only has 2.
Slain or damaged.
There you go.
It looks like Daniela is shut out in that one.
All right, so surrounded results being superior to flanked in the roll-off. This one will go to Daniela. For those watching along and wondering what's happening in the third place game, I've just been confirmed from one of the judges that James Waters of England has won his match 2-0 and has secured third place for England. So congratulations to James. I'm sure he played excellently. We saw him in the last game on the stream here. Powerfully strong player, and it looks like he was able to close the door on the Canadian Maxim and secure a podium spot for England. So congratulations. And while you can't make it to the final, at least you've got yourself a top 3.
For England, James. See the power of some of these Italian rolls sending our dice tray a little off kilter.
Daniela using those heavier Grand Alliance dice. And Matteo actually does roll quite aggressively. Multiple times he's had dice bounce back out of the tray.
I believe we had one where he had to kind of get up and walk about 12 or 14 feet away to gather up in a previous stream.
I mean, that's the way the Corn would like it.
It's actually nervous moments for us. The setup that Skylar came up with us involves a couple of tripods that are right next to the table. Every time we have a player rooting around underneath the table to try and dig up a dice, I'm worried that the whole thing's going to come tumbling down.
At one point, we had a die dropped, and it got stuck under some duct tape holding things to the carpet. And I thought, if this goes the wrong way, we're about to get unplugged. We may lose the feed right here. Fortunately, nothing happened. But very professional outfit, you and I.
Oh, we have the upgrade to give Grievous when you're making a attack. Let's see, it's ferocious. I'm gonna take a look at this. It's out of Reckless Fury.
While you take a look for that, Nick Baton in the chat. Good to see you, Nick. Nick is a huge name over in Nottingham, able to make sure that we get 2 Grand Clashes, 1 Rivals, 1 Nemesis at Warhammer World every month. Has been doing that for a long time. Very, very good proponent for our community. He says, James Waters is a regular at my Warhammer World events. Huge congrats to him and for England, James. Subtle golden eye reference, question mark. We'll have to say, of course, intentionally. James Waters, also known as James Workshop for the purposes of this stream. It's hard to beat a hometown hero. All right. Fury of actually coming out on the other side as well. So now both fighters locked in place with only charges available to them from here on out, unless we can get a push of some kind or a drive back to step away.
As usual, a play by one of the players out here. I was like, I don't understand why Vexmore is charging here. It makes no sense. He could be attacking from back there.
What are you doing? Well, let me tell you.
Allow me to tell you. I'm going to lock the score where it's at right now.
I'm being told it is actually Clash night tonight at Warhammer World. So
excellent.
Anyone watching from the Clash, welcome in. Thanks for viewing. Best of luck to you all out in England. And make sure to throw up a cheers for your boy James out here in Atlanta.
The Gore Hulk is got Furious Might, which is he gains Grievous while the fighter has any charge tokens and is not using the charge ability.
Well, that's a bummer because he can only use the charge action now.
He also only has a range 1, so he has no ability to charge out of this bubble here, unless he wants to go all the way over to Lassivere. He does have Headlong Charge, so that could be an option.
Yeah, he would be able to reach him with a range 2 attack.
Oh, you're right. He doesn't have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, with 5.
Yeah, he has 3 move base, plus 2 for Headlong Charge, and then a range 2 attack. So looks like Vexmore positioning around somehow, but showing he scored a surge after some component of that action.
Critical effort?
Did roll a crit on the attack, I suppose.
Yep.
All right, Matteo starting to look through his scored objectives. Again, we're working on intimate knowledge of each player's deck and their opponent's deck. What does he have? What has he scored? What might I see next? So a lot of high-level counterplay and anticipation feints out of both players, I'm sure, that are beyond us without that level of knowledge of each other's decks.
Sean Reynolds is asking us, how does that quote-unquote have to charge card work? Just a domain that forces charges? Well, Sean, there's 2 cards that do this. One is a ploy, and that one is Reckless Attitudes. We saw that come out early from Daniele. Reckless Attitude says enemy fighters cannot use core abilities other than the charge ability in the next action step. The other one in this deck is Fury of Akshi, which essentially provides the same thing. Fighters adjacent to this fighter cannot use core abilities other than the charge ability. And we see in these small warbands like this a real...
Both players showing each other their scored objectives again, looking through. You see Branching Fate on the table. That's not a new score. That's already been scored. We're just exposing this public information to one another so that we both know what's on the table, what hasn't been scored yet, and can make better guesses about what the right play is moving forward. So, again, very thorough behavior out of both players. You don't want to make a wrong move because you're not aware a card's already been played. So, double checking each other.
Nick Baton, you are correct. Was just revealing my age. GoldenEye coming out during my formative years.
Yeah, N64 game was pretty good too, if you know what takes Odd Job. So
it is good, and I am not good at it. I could have a machine gun in both hands, and I would be getting hand chopped to death. Gore Hulk, unless he's got hidden aid, that's going to be a miss.
Does look like he scored himself a surge for his efforts regardless. Got the charge token and was able to get out of Vexmore's Fury of Akshi bubble and put his Fury of Akshi bubble onto Lassivere. So Lassivere only able to charge now, which may have been what he wanted to do anyway, but it does prevent further attacks after that initial charge.
Yeah. So this is going to lock up. Utter ignorance coming in for the Gore Hulk. This is going to get Unrelenting Massacre is going to be scoreable here, certainly. Lassevier is going to have to charge.
May have been what Matteo was looking through the deck to see, saying, well, if I charge you, then I'm handing that over, but maybe I still need to do it for my own cards.
As a reminder, Daniele still has Vile Transference available.
That's a fair point. Could take an upgrade off, swap it out, if he has one in his hand to replace it with.
Well, and there is the sequence you were describing earlier where we can use the Great Fortitude kill to get around absolute ignorance. So if you get the right amount of damage in,
that's not from an attack, and you can't use the
Great Fortitude now on Lassevier.
The Final Frenzy Reckless ability.
Absolute Certainty coming down on the Gore Hulk. Gore Hulk's up to 2 defense dice. Started to ask the judge what the blood tithe count was, but
War Scroll ability has already been used. Yeah. It is 6 for those watching at home, but not relevant right now as Matteo's already used his War Scroll abilities to care about blood tithe. It is a little bit of a value though because Vile Transference, Vile Temptations, meaning that you can take an upgrade away if you did some damage that they had 1 health left, and then you took Great Fortitude off. They wouldn't have taken damage; they would have lost health and be slain without the ability to use Final Frenzy. But Final Frenzy having already been attempted. Remember early in the game trying to save Dromm means that there's less incentive to do that.
Yeah.
There may be a different upgrade worth taking off.
Yep.
Perhaps Fury of Action even.
Accurate going down for Lassevier. I think this is telling me that oh my goodness, sharpen points.
Please.
Daniele is saying, I'm going to get this Gore Hulk.
Leave at a reroll, and we noticeably do not see Blade Catcher out there on Gore Hulk's card, so he cannot turn off the Grievous. I mean, the Cleave that's coming his way. Now, he does have Utter Ignorance, but we could see it taken away.
I might be missing something. I'm not, and I'm certain I am, but Daniele putting all this into an attack. Oh, I wonder if he's going to break. No.
He'll charge.
I was wondering if he was going to choose to break Fury of Akshi.
And then get a second attack after the fact would be what I'd imagine he'd do. Gore Hulk, of course, will be able to punch him back as well. One hammer there. And he has one reroll from Accurate. One crit, one hammer, and he does have Cleave. Matteo nodding his head, looking through his hand. He does not have the defense he needs. There's a drive back, interestingly, so don't need to break Fury of Akshi, just not having to be in range at all to be trapped by that. Gore Hulk taking some damage.
Oh, you know, I keep saying that the blood tithe count doesn't matter. It does. This Gore Hulk's not inspired.
It does matter. And that's why he's choosing not to do the additional damage with Wicked Slice, because he doesn't want Gore Hulk inspired. You know, again, we forget about this because it usually happens so much earlier, but Final Frenzy in an attempt to save Dromm's life really slowing down the inspiration game here.
We are breaking something on the Gore Hulk here.
Going to give him Hidden Aid, which means adjacent fighters are flanked. A very powerful card in its own right, but depending on what you take.
That was Fury of actually getting broken by Vile Temptation. Hidden Aid for the second time being handed out.
As I was saying before, Hidden Aid, very powerful card in its own right, but if it's less important than the card you're breaking, still a good play out of Daniele here. Now that means that even if he does end up adjacent, he can attack again or move away, go on guard, any number of other options. Surge there scored for Matteo. In the chat, I hear someone is getting excited to go to the Las Vegas Open this year for the first time. Glad to have you. If you are interested in going, I'm going to be there. I don't know that we'll be doing any live streams because I actually want to compete this time. But it's going to be mid to late January in Las Vegas. It's a lot of fun. We had a pretty good time last year. I expect it'll be fun again this year. So if you want to, those tickets are on sale now. We were able to organize a TO. Thomas Wakefield of Underworlds Underground will be running that one. So tickets are on sale now for the Las Vegas Open. Please come join me in Las Vegas. And if you win that event, you can earn yourself a golden ticket to come to the World Tournament yourself next year.
Absolutely. And you will win yourself a lot of friends just by going. I got to go. That was when I met Fish here and the rest of the Underworlds Underground podcast. We had a absolute blast. It was really good. May not be able to make it this year. Some of that is because all the time I'm taking to come here. So, but I would strongly recommend it. It's gonna be great for folks who get a chance to go.
All right.
That's a
Lasavir getting out of danger by taking a move onto treasure token 4.
She's seeing some tasty treasure. The Espresso is saying that he gets to play these players during his local game nights. His or her local game nights. And I hope you've had the chance to take a game off them once or twice.
I'm not sure that I could, based on what we're seeing tonight.
No.
Currently have a charge token. You can't see it on the stream here because he's so large.
Yeah.
And it's behind him from the angle of the camera. But the Gorehulk has a charge token, cannot charge back around, could take a move. If he ends up next to Vexmore, though, he'll be locked in place due to Fury of Akshi, which is part of why I think Lasavir has moved further away. He said, you can't reach me. There's not a lot of value in reaching Vexmore. So there may not be any more damage coming out on the table, and we may again be going to a stare down into the third end phase for objective scoring. Gorehulk moving on to treasure token 2 to attempt to get a tiebreaker there.
We'll see who predicted correctly whether the tiebreaker was the difference.
Incredible that both games are coming down to this final card draw. So some focus actions.
Reckless attitudes coming out.
Reckless attitudes meaning you're going to have to charge if you want to do anything.
And he cannot
charge.
Maybe an adjustment to the final landing spot there.
Right. Looks like a focus action out of Daniele.
You have to assume Daniele has got Unrelenting Massacre in there.
And diving in to push a fighter up to 2 hexes next to another fighter with charge tokens, meaning Gorehulk was able to close the distance there.
Wow.
And
amazing.
now getting ready to make an attack. One hammer.
Success.
And since he has hidden aid that was given to him by his opponent, that's going to be a successful attack. Will be for 4 damage because he's attacking when he has a charge token but is not charging. And so the hammer,
the damage is reduced.
Reduced by 1. So Lasavir with great fortitude does live. The evasive ability saving him there.
Wow.
And now we're in the end phase. Arena Mortis.
Unrelenting Massacre and Red Aftermath at 6.
Huge score there. And it looks like both players writing down what's happening. Matteo hasn't revealed his cards yet, but I get the opinion that this is going to a third game.
Wow. On to game 3 for the finals. Couldn't ask for much more.
Really couldn't. And again, powerful positional play out of both. This is not just all charging like you might expect. Gorehulk staying back, defensive and rage. We saw this game. Lots of interesting stuff.
So it sounds like 14-19 is the correct score here. Trying to do the math here. That kill would have only netted Matteo 2 more. I don't know that would have, if that had gone through, there wouldn't have
I'm
been
not
any
sure. Now, we don't know
difference.
what Matteo had in his hand. He's not scored any of these cards, or at least not shown them to us. So possibly getting that kill, if Evasive hadn't saved him, may have changed things. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But regardless, we are heading to a third game. And it looks like, hey, you beat me, you can get my little prize. Daniela handing something across the table. Not many have earned that at this tournament so far.
Both players grinning ear to ear here.
Matteo saying that so far, every time he's handed someone one of these badges, he then wins. So this is his attempt to influence the future. Very excited, fist pumping. Both are ready to go for a third game. And happy to see you turn us back. Davey actually has one of these badges here. Show that on the camera. This is the fancy Matteo lapel pin. Says, hey, I played. Possibly the future world champion.
I think I'm guaranteed to win now.
Does look like it. You're a winner in my eyes, Davey.
I appreciate it.
All right, both players discussing
Alessandro,
their teammate from Italy, coming by to see how that's going. They're describing to him the outcome of their first 2 games. We do have a minute of time here. If we want to drag Alessandro over to do a quick interview, I think that'd be a good moment. So let me go ahead and snag him.
The distinction that everyone that Matteo gives the pin to, he beats, but he just beats everybody anyway. So. Okay. While these players are shuffling up, we're going to work on getting a little interview here. Hello, Alessandro. Welcome to the booth. You got to be happy about this.
yeah, it's we saw this match a lot of time, but wait a moment. Now I'm ready for.
All right, hold on.
The
Here
stream.
we go. Now we're both ready. Alessandro, there are all kind of Italian fans out there watching. Why don't you talk to them in their own language there? Give them a shout out in Italian here.
Ok. Ciao ragazzi, intanto per chi mi chiede cosa ho fatto io, ho vinto la mia partita. A parte mi stanno facendo un attimo le foto. Ho vinto 2-0 ed era la rivincita della seconda partita che ho perso nel girone contro Dromm, quindi va bene così. Però devo giocare molto veloce per poter vedere la terza partita loro. Quindi ora è tutto come volevamo che succedesse. Quindi ora gustiamoci la terza partita. I said to my fans that
he wants another one of these.
I said to my Italian fans if I won or I lost the match.
Oh, I see. Yep. Tell me, You've seen this matchup lots of times. It's now even. It's 1 game to 1 game. Who's your favorite for the to pull it out?
Okay. If I say no, which is my favorite,
The other one
the
will,
other,
will shun
kill
you.
me.
All right, we won't make you pick
no.
sides.
That I choose,
Yeah.
kill me. I cannot.
you would rather die than pick?
Yeah.
Very well. I understand. There's just been incredible play. What we've really enjoyed highlighting is just the level of positional play. There's this amazing play by Matteo where he used enrage defensively. He used the charge backwards to get out of a dangerous situation with Dromm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought it. Oh yeah. Sorry, folks. All kinds of photos being taken here. They really want to capture the intense concentration of Italian players here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The deck of Matteo. It's it's different.
Yep.
That's Dromm.
Yep.
Because the Cataclysm.
Countdown to Cataclysm. Yeah.
And,
Yep.
Matteo.
Yep.
Play very well the ping.
Yep.
Few pings.
Yes.
Now in this version.
We've seen them used to great effect. There's a moment we already described earlier, but Matteo was able to take out both the wielder and the bearer in a single turn by charging the one and pinging the other. It was incredible.
Matteo, it's famous because when he rolled the dice for the pings, always take damage.
Tell me this: there's an upgrade I see in that deck. It's a Bellowing Tyrant. We've seen it come out a couple times. How long? At what point did he decide that this should be included in the deck? Was it one he put in earlier, or was that a late addition?
Bellowing Tyrant.
Bellowing Tyrant. Let me see if I can find it for you here. It might help. I may have the word wrong because I overlooked it. Perhaps I'm missing it all together. We thought there was an upgrade that allowed for a push. We'll see if I have just totally. I'm not remembering it all. Reckless Fury, actually. It's not Countdown. It is in Reckless.
This.
So this is a Reckless Fury card, Bellowing Tyrant. It gives the bellow action. This fighter can use this core ability if they have any charge tokens, push each other friendly fighter with any charge tokens up to 2 hexes, then pick one of those fighters, remove one of that fighter's charge tokens. I think that's an overlooked card. What made that be included in the deck? Do you know? Were you part of that decision?
Yeah, because always Tao make the first charge with Arax.
Yep.
And later you can charge. You can do 2 charge.
I see.
With Gorechosen. Or when you say only with two fighters.
Yeah.
With this.
Yeah.
You can cut off the charge token. I can do another.
I see.
Yeah, this is very strong card.
Yeah.
I will play this card another way against me. Time. We arrive in Atlanta.
we're getting to the game here.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna go ahead. You keep talking. Go ahead. We're just gonna show it as they make their decisions. So.
Okay.
Yeah. How excited are you for you all to be in the top 3 spots? You went 1, 2, 3. Oh no, we not the top 3 spots, but all 3 of you in the top 16, I should say. Pretty.
Yeah, I estimated in top 16.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I lost in top 8 against Daniele.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It takes an Italian to beat an Italian. We're going to reset the board here.
Now we stay to draw the power.
Yep. We've got the roll. It's a tie. This is Daniele with the surrounded. The surrounded again. Here we go. Surrounded and a crit. All right.
Daniele plays the board. It's an important advantage.
Yeah. Tissues and waters out on the board. Daniele thinking.
Yeah, and the first match, in the first game, Daniele chose the board
Yes.
for Matteo.
Yep. And they each actually won the game of the match that the other won for. So we have a cool tradition over here. It looks like one of the French players is having other players, including our own Fish, sign his Underworlds carrying case. A great idea for Underworlds. Sure. Judge having a quick conversation with the players. Maybe just talking to them about time. Let's see. We're only 2 hours into this
2
round.
hours,
They have more than enough time. These
There
are
are
4
lots
hour
of time,
rounds now. So we saw with Daniela's earlier play into some of the other players, he was highly valuing Vexmore in his previous matchup, deploying very far away from the action to make sure that he came in with a lot of health later. In this matchup particularly, he appears to have valued Lassevier very highly, deploying Lassevier second and then last in the 2 games so far. Do you think that's a difference with the countdown to Cataclysm, or do you think that's a difference knowing how Matteo wants to play him?
Yeah. Daniele always choose to push up Vashtis.
Vashtis, yeah.
And try to defend on want to inspire Vexmore or Lashir. Because when Lashir arrive to roll 3 ammers, it's very hard.
Yeah.
The nearest deck, it's built for play against Dromm.
He knew he was going to face a lot of Dromm. He figured people would be. Do you think he thought there were going to be 17 Dromms?
How many?
17. There were 17.
17? Yeah, a lot. Yeah. In my 10 match, I play against 7 Dromm.
You've played 7 Dromm? Yeah. Out of 10, 7 out of 10 have been Dromm matchups.
A lot.
Well, we got to see one of them too. Yeah.
And I know to play against Dromm. You have a lot of move, and you can play back and later go.
Yeah.
Out. And the difference is, I think that when Daniele drew the objective of Reckless Fury, fine, I don't remember. Yeah,
Unrelenting Massacre.
Yep. The other for Tao and drew Breakers.
Yep.
And the other.
Yeah. We saw exactly that. We figured it was a strong choice. And we figured that it was specifically in there for the Gorechosen, who are going to be all charged out, going to be running that Reckless Fury. And it's been pivotal. We've seen it be this big score to keep him ahead in the matchup. It means that Matteo is essentially playing as if he knows that there's a 3 glory that's going to get scored at some point.
Yeah. Yes. Daniele had the final 6 point.
Yeah.
You know, you can see that
we have the deployments coming down.
Dromm and Erax near.
And where would you expect the Gore Hulk to come down at this point?
And Matteo had fair to move 5 to Lashvir.
Yeah.
For plays Gore.
Up here, 1, 2, 3.
There are important things, and when they drew Fury of Axie.
Yeah. What, Dromm, Fury of Axie?
Yeah.
Yep. Fury of Axie has been really pivotal in this matchup. Both players using it as a good effect against each other. we've seen some great control play with that and reckless attitudes coming out at the right time as well. We have all the fighters deployed. Here's the roll. We've got a surrounded versus a hammer.
Buon Daniele, and choose to start Matteo.
It does look like Daniele won, and yes,
Yeah,
Matteo,
Daniele won,
yeah.
yeah, and Matteo start.
Yeah. All weekend long, because you notice our screen is reversed from how they're sitting because the camera's over there. And I'm like, it's confusing. Yep. We saw this each know anytime one of them wins the roll off for the very first activation, they've been giving the activation to the other player. I think they both want to have you come in and counterattack. Yep. So you were saying that Matteo's usual move is to send in the Herix first?
Yeah. the first move, the most important, because if he move with Herix, but he stay up to 2 or 2 backs more, Herix try to die. But if attack Vashtis, and Vashtis failed the defense, and Daniele inspire Lashvir, later it's very hard.
Presents no good options. Here we come. Counting out the spaces. He does have a range 2 attack that only does the 1 damage when uninspired, or a range 1 for 2.
Yeah, but when Alex is not inspired with only 1 damage to range 2.
Yep.
And Daniele say to Matteo, I want that you arrive near me for attack you. Start to mind games.
I think Matteo knows as much.
Ovviamente per gli italiani che sentono, purtroppo non potete sentire Daniele che sta piangendo da un quarto d'ora, 20 minuti, come al suo solito, anche già i fazzoletti pronti.
Here comes Herix, gonna try and make a swing.
Choose to chair.
Wow.
Double crit, yeah. Strong start.
Oh.
But for Daniele, it's better. Failed. Whoa. Perfect cut. And now Lashir is inspired.
Perfect cut and best foot forward. Getting staggered.
Yep.
And we have a blood tithe on the board too. One thing I've also seen from Matteo is that he does not use that blood tithe right away on enrage. So many other players would see a Gore Hulk charge, hit, enrage, charge again.
Yep.
But I think Matteo prefers to play a little more conservative, not put it all on a few rolls at the very start of the game.
Yeah, but Gore Hulk now it's far to charge.
Yeah.
Because Gore can charge only with wings or headlong charge.
Yeah.
But if Matteo push, because Gore Hulk had +2 move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it
could be.
Yeah, I think it's not a mistake.
No, I don't think so at all. We're saying that compared to other players, that Matteo is much more willing to hold on to his enrage for longer, wait for the right moment. It's been very impressive.
Wings of War up to 7.
Yeah, yep. Vashtis not caring about Herix. I'm surprised. This seems like the only fighter that would be able to hit him. Scoring a surge right away. It gets stuck in. There's only 1 damage because Lasavir is not yet inspired.
Yeah.
That will be a second blood tithe.
And second blood tithe token.
Yep. I don't know if you saw so far, Matteo's not been able to save a fighter with Final Frenzy in either of these 2 games. He had one tossed, I think, 11 dice, perhaps more. Needed 2 and did not, only got the 1. And then later in the second game, used it with 5 and didn't get 1. So diving in.
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
ouch. Yeah, but evasive to Lashville and Vashis is
Yeah.
important. My match, Daniele always reduce 1 damage.
Yeah. This was the Eldritch Enmity using the War
Yep.
Scroll ability to push apart, trying to make sure that he's
In this
reducing
way,
his damage to 1.
In this way, Dromm
Yep.
can do only 1 damage.
Yes. It's something that we forget. We spent so much of this weekend seeing Dromm, Gorechosen and Dromm inspired. We tend to forget what the uninspired side says.
3 damage.
In fact, we had a moment where Daniela was surprised to see that on the Gore Hulk uninspired, he has Ensnare on that attack.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it came up big, resulted in a kill. And this, I think, is Call of Blood.
Yeah.
Yep. Pulling them back in. Do you think this is then? Does that indicate that Dromm is going to charge somebody else? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know because now Daniele count if Gore can arrive to move 5 or 7.
I see.
When he can arrive.
That's a good point. You think this looks like a headlong charge, Wings of War sort of situation? I see. We can almost see some of the cards here.
If Matteo push, but we cannot say that.
Oh, you can. They can't hear.
Yeah.
Both players going through their hands. It's currently on Daniela deciding if he wants to. I'm sorry, on Matteo deciding if he wants to play something in the power step. He passes. Too close for comfort. Scores right now. That'll put Matteo up to 3. Daniela at 1.
Yep.
Looks like the Gore Hulk is going to just go in on Vashtis. This will be enough to kill Vashtis if he can land it and the damage is not reduced. No successes. There is a reroll because of stagger, and it's a crit. That is a success.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a new world here in 2nd edition where crits don't trump the other successes, huh?
Yeah. I prefer this.
I do too. I do too. Yeah.
And now.
He's considering a drive back right now.
Yeah.
He has the ability to overrun if he wants to, but.
Yeah, but this full attack it's important. But Daniele has another chance.
Yeah.
Evasive for safe.
Yes. I think we have perfect strike from Daniela, meaning all dice had successes. We saw him score that in a previous game, only using the 1 dice from Vexmore, which is always entertaining. It's 2 more damage on Herix.
Yeah.
Coming from Vexmore. Perhaps 3 damage on Herix.
3 damage,
Unrouge.
yeah.
Yep.
And score a perfect strike.
Yep. It's well done. Let's see. I believe that will put us at 3 on the Blood Tithe.
Change inspiration for safe Vashtis.
Try to keep Vashtis protected. We sometimes struggle to tell if the Gore Hulk has charged or not because he's so big we can't see his counter. I'm almost certain there is a charge because he did charge there, correct?
Yeah, but with the Call of Blood,
Yep.
Vexmore, it's push
Yep.
up to 2, and
I think
don't know.
Call of Blood has been used at this point, right? Yeah.
When Matteo used Call of Blood.
Yes. Oh, he pushed pushed him too?
Yeah, he pushed Vexmore.
Yeah.
To range for an attack.
I see.
I don't know why. For score to close to comfort.
We're currently 3 for Matteo, 2 for Daniele.
Yep.
We have an upgrade coming out, and there's the Reckless Charge, I believe. Yes, Reckless Charge. So the Gore Hulk.
5. Can arrive to Lashir on Vexmore.
This is the Enrage, hey?
Now it's the important.
A big roll. Do you think going for 2? Oh,
Fail.
No. Rolling, and then he even gets an Inspired Disaster. Wow.
And up to 3 attack. How many are it? 2?
So,
now Vexmore can do 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Against Gore.
Yeah. Yeah. Vexmore has a 3 damage attack. So does Last
2 times with 3 damage.
Yep. Between the 2 of them, they may be able to take Gore Hulk down. Yeah. Despresso. Despresso is from your area, yes? Says having crits count as only 1 success. It's so good. I love this change. Agreeing with us. Looks like we've passed off a charge token to Dromm in order to...
and now Gore can attack another time.
Yep. Getting a lot of activations out of Gore Hulk here. And that was an Enrage, so that was we're still in the power step.
I don't know.
Possibly Keen Eye. Let's see. Hidden Aid.
Yeah.
Yep. And we have Furious Mites to grant Grievous to the Gore Hulk's attacks here, now that he's going to be attacking and has a charge token.
Yeah, Furious Might, yeah.
Commanding Stride. Ooh. Held for just long enough to force Matteo to commit a lot of resources to that. There's a lot of power cards back and forth. It's a very busy power step.
Both these players, they have a great power in your hands.
Yeah. Yep. They've you've built some strong decks there in Italy. What part of Italy are you all from?
Sorry?
What part of Italy are you all from? If you're within 10 minutes?
No. They stay near.
Yeah.
I live in Rome.
I see. I see.
I stay in Romagna.
Romagna. Oh, it's this, huh?
Yeah. A lot of people that see are from Romagna.
Somehow we have reset our game counter, so we're going to go make sure people know it's game 3, round 1.
Try to escape with Erax.
We were hypothesizing coming into this that both players have taken every possible positioning and push card that they have available from others, and we see it. This back and forth makes this happen.
Oh.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah.
Dromm, the only one without any damage yet.
Yeah, because if we enter the attack, do 3 damage on only 1.
Yeah.
And later, stay near to only 1.
1 success. And a
Oh,
crit.
crit.
Oh.
But he plays 1 damage.
Sally
Dromm.
fourth. Herrick's getting Sally fourth there for Dromm's Gorechosen.
Now Matteo can do an attack. Oh, choose to move. Okay. His move is Arena Mortis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willie coming in complimenting the Italian commentary. Willie. Willie here, notoriously bringing Gorechosen last year, is cheering for Matteo, still in Gorechosen's. Vexmore charging to follow.
Yeah.
Vexmore still uninspired.
Alex on guard. On Dromm. Another important role.
That won't do it. A delve. This is actually the first delve we've seen in this entire game. In the entire match.
I prefer to defend.
Two more. We've got Matteo all the way up to 6 glory. Daniele still on 2. We'll ask the judge what just scored there. We're about to enter round 2. That was end phase scoring, bloody momentum scoring for. Oh. Wow, big score. Let's get this. I see Keep Chopping, Field of Blood, and Unrelenting Massacre is 5 glory for Daniele. We got a question in the chat how Diego is doing.
He mirado, Diego has ganado las últimas 3 partidas y ahora está en octava plaza.
We're gonna look it up.
He has won the last 3 matches.
He won his last 3 matches? Wow.
And now he's staying in 8th positions.
He's in the 9th position?
8th.
8th position. Yeah. Huge, because the top 8 get a ticket back next year. Yeah. Diego representing Chile very well. I see Blade Catchers come down on the Gore Hulk. That's a big one, taking away the rune marks.
And this is 7-6.
7-6, we are showing it correctly. And we are on to round 2. This is it. This is the end of the long road of the World Championships. And it started before this weekend even began. Wow. It sounds like Diego finishing off with a 2-0 for Mads. Looks like Matteo is going to have the opening activation here. So Matteo going first here.
Yeah.
And we are on round 2.
Going first.
We have on the side of the Thricefold Discord, there's only 1 damage, and that's on Lasavir, I think. Yep, it looks like Vexmore's card is clean.
Inspire. Yeah. If he attack with Dromm, 2 damages up.
Yep. So uninspired, Dromm might be the right play here. Get 2 damage on right away.
And if he enter the attack, he going to 6 tight 1. It's not up to 5. Blood tithe.
Do you think that would bring him up to 5?
Yeah.
All right. Thinking that we're at 5 blood tithe here. But the only thing left to spend them on is getting to Inspire at 8. And then, of course, Final Frenzy is always happy to see as much as you can get.
Yeah, only 3.
Yeah. Herix.
Yeah.
The charge from Herix, it does, it's more accurate. 3 Fury with flanks.
3 Fury, yeah. For 2 damages.
For 2 if it goes through. That looks like it's going to go through.
3.
Crit and 2 successes. 2 damage to Vexmore.
Yeah.
And no need to roll here. I think we've seen perfect cut scored already. And Vexmore is the only uninspired. So he's not able to pass any inspire.
Now Vexmore can do 3 damages on Dromm.
Well, Vexmore still looking to get inspired, though.
Bella Mirko. That's terrible. Other player of Team Italy. The Silver Wolf.
I see. Let's see. Reckless Attitudes coming down, requiring a charge from Daniele on the next round. Herix is 1 away from dead. The Gore Hulk has 1 damage. Blade Catcher, a Grievous while he's got a charge token and not attacking with a charge. And then Dromm needs 4 to be killed. So Daniele's got to figure out where he's going to put his investment in. Daniele considering his options, looking through his cards. They're pretty consequential. This be his first activation, first action step of the round. Yep.
The first. In a power step again.
Yeah, I think we're still in the power step waiting. Continue to pour the damage in.
Yeah.
It could be as much as 3 with the blades. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wicked Slice if it lands.
Yeah, you
or
can do 3 damages.
3.
2 plus 1.
Yep. Lasavir's got some upgrade there. Do you recognize that one?
Wow. Good strength. Good strength.
It's great
3
strength.
damages. Yeah.
So 3, but he can't kill here because he can't use that last damage
but,
to.
In this way, it's 3 damages on Dromm and 1 damage on Gore.
Yep.
But if he failed the attack, can place 1 damage.
Yep.
And later Vexmore can kill.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
The second times.
A lot of those coming out.
He chooses to place 1 damage on Dromm.
Okay.
Vexmon inspired.
Oh yeah, was not expecting that
But
one to
I think
have.
that
I think you
he
would rather
didn't
have the
want that.
damage. Daniele, power. Let's see. Raging Tremors, we're going to stagger. Increasing to continue to pour the damage on towards Vexmore, if possible. Yep. Right now, Vexmore's only taken one. Counters for Dromm. Let's see. Reckless Attitudes is going to require a charge here. We'll get a blood tithe count real quick. We think it's about 5. And yep, I'm going to trust Alessandro to have kept better track than me. We've got some very pivotal action steps happening here right now. Attacks that miss or hit at this point are really going to kind of push the results one way or the other. Interesting into round 2, and no fighters dead. Herrick's being very happy to be overlooked for now with his 1 remaining. Game complete over at the French Wargaming stream. Round of applause. And this is Dromm electing to try to put some damage on Lassevere. Oh, also misses. Both players can miss, it seems. What do you think Daniele's play here is? Vexmore could try to just finish off Herrick's. Is this worth it, or is it worth trying to kill Herrick's at this point, or is it too dangerous to give blood tithe for that? That maybe doesn't matter. Do you want to keep putting it on the other fighters? Hard to say. Yeah. I'm gonna have you move this. Yep. If he can kill Herrick's, the 1 bounty, is it worth the exchange in blood tithe? Possibly Keen Eye there. Do you recognize that one? Keen Eye, indeed. Yeah. Okay. Countercharge. The Gorehulk's ready to hit some things. But first, we'll see if Herrick's gets out alive. Oh my goodness. He does score Branching Fate. Small consolation. I think another upgrade coming out. Vexmore picking up Reckless Fury. Fury of Akshi coming out. This is going to lock the Gorehulk into a charge. The silver lining with a miss is that you don't give any blood tithe. Yeah. Oh, once he's charged. Oh, it could kill Vastus with the 3. Damage reduction might do it. Yeah. You think? Let's confirm how much damage is on Vexmore. Coming back the other way to Lassevier. There's 2 successes. Finally, we're seeing some. Nothing at all. Evasive. Will he? Will Lassevier be able to reduce the damage? No. Take all 3. That'll be another. So we think we're at 6 blood tithe. We'll double check. 6 blood tithe is correct. Your number is good.
Ok.
Daniela. Ooh. Oh, we passed off a charge token. Aha. Lassevier needs to get out of trouble.
Let's shoot again.
Can't miss again, right? That gets. That is the great strength. So enough to kill Dromm.
Can kill Dromm. Yep.
Yep.
And later Matteo have to show is to save Dromm, but didn't inspire.
Oh yeah, you would inspire the Gorehulk. Tough call then. Here we go. Choosing to go after Herrick's. Perhaps the safer play.
Yeah, shoots to escape by Dromm and Guard.
Now, I noticed he's in the spot where he might die from Sunder the Realm.
Yeah.
Can he get a hit this round? Let's find out. A lot of talk going on the table. Dice are very thoroughly being rolled. Here we go. There's 2 successes. I think that's going to do the trick, and he's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Daniele with another bounty.
And 7 blood tithe.
And we're at 7. That's Bellowing Tyrant, the card we were talking about at the start. Using it right away, I think.
This is the
the power step.
A good card.
Yeah. Oh, he's thinking hard about it, deciding. Counting out the possibilities for where Vastus could go. Oh, he's picked it back up.
I choose to play to drop. Because if he play on Dromm, Gore can change. And if you play on Gorechosen, okay, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Let's choose.
Wants to be able to charge with Dromm instead.
Yeah, for make a change with Dromm.
I see. If he can get damage through on this one, then he will inspire.
Yeah.
Or walk to the back, huh? This is the push, right? So push him back. He's still going to take the charge, but this is the core ability being used from Bellowing Tyrant. This is what we've loved to see from Daniele. He's so decisive with his moves. He knows exactly what he's going to do. Looks like Denmark with a successful result on the table. Next to us on the AOS table, or the 40K table, I should say. Meanwhile, here, Lassevier.
1 damage.
A crit. This is into. Oh, he's got range 4, so.
You got effort.
It's a successful one. This is gonna do 1 damage for more on Dromm, and it will get the Inspire for the Gorechosen. Yeah, like it. That is the 40k table. They are going crazy over there.
3 damage on Dromm.
Dromm 3 damage, so getting dangerously close to dying.
But now he can heal with 8 dice.
Right, he can afford to use Final Frenzy because he's hit he doesn't have to have that tension. We're in the end phase. We got 3, 4, 5 on the one side and 4 from the other.
Rena Mortis.
Yeah, we're just gonna watch carefully here.
Yeah, Rena Mortis.
Yeah, Arena Mortis on this side.
Yeah,
Then Matteo with a big score jumping up to 11, it looks like. $15-11, I believe. We'll confirm with the judges because Daniela's glory total is starting to get off the screen for us.
Yeah. 15-11.
15-11 with our own eyes. Game 3, round 3, they're going to take a rest break.
Yeah.
We're going to bring it back to us here. Alessandro, what do you think? Is this the kind of match you expected?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely a lot of attack.
Yeah.
An important dice.
Yeah.
The first round, the frenzy, the change with the Gorulk.
Yeah.
And Daniele, he's the Daniele now needs to take a little advantage.
Yeah.
Because 15-11 is for glory.
Yeah.
It depends to when Dromm dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If Matteo maybe can kill Lashvir.
Yeah.
And Vexor. If Matteo.
So you think Matteo's got to land a kill on Vexmore and Lasavir that might get him enough to catch up?
Yeah.
On the other hand, if Daniela can land a kill on either Gorehulk or Dromm, almost clearly it would be Dromm in this case who is the more damaged.
It's important now which start.
Yeah.
Because Daniele, if start, can choose to escape.
Yeah.
With Lashvir or with Vexmore. Because in this way, Matteo can do 1 charge with Dromm up to 3, and with Gore up to 5.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying Daniele is looking for that ability to retreat, then he only has to give up 1 fighter, and if he happens to have drawn into utter ignorance, he may even be able to protect both fighters. Yep.
Yeah, now, if they draw, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, utter ignorance. Yeah. Powerful card.
But Daniele, with the ability, can cut utter ignorance, or if you want escape to Dromm, can cut a Dromm charge.
Okay. Yes.
Or cut 1 more damage on Gore.
Right.
Now we must see the cards.
Yeah, who's gonna get it? Right, because if Matteo gets it, you're saying charge, put that lethal damage on somebody, and then splash a ping in like Sunder or something like that.
Yeah, if Matteo draw a ping, can do 1 damage all to 3 fighters.
Yeah, wow, all 3 would get splashed by it. Brutal.
Yeah, because your Cataclysm now is 2 or 3. Maybe it's 3 now. And 3 dice.
Yeah, we'll see if it goes up anymore.
50%.
Yeah.
For 3 dice.
Do you have a particular match during the week that you thought was the most memorable, or the one that made you sweat the most?
My match?
In any of your matches this weekend, which one? Which one?
Yeah. For me, the best match, the stream match.
The Mads. Mads is the one. Yeah.
I guess because for me it's a rematch.
Yeah.
And I like it because for pass to top 8, very important this.
Yeah.
And I like a lot because I think that the second of the match I play very well.
Yeah.
And the second.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
And maybe another match against Dromm. The second match.
Yep.
Yeah, because I lost the first, but I won too. Okay. They arrived.
Daniela doing the little
Daniele
cha-cha
dance.
on the way. All right, back to the game. Both players are sitting down. 15-11 is the score. We're removing tokens. This is it. Round 3, game 3, finals. What's it going to be?
The time.
Matteo's got his work cut out for him. We're going to make sure we can see the dice tray so we can see this roll off. We got a crit. He's got it because he is the underdog, so he can't possibly lose it. Now we're going to find out what he drew. This is what he needed for a chance.
Daniele draw power card.
What do you think of the extra power card for the person who loses? Do you like that rule?
Yeah, like?
Yeah, I think it's great too. I like that balancing out. A role like this is just extremely pivotal, and so it's good to have some sort of consolation prize. It's compounded by the fact that you will get your first activation with the help of your power card that you play. As players start to complete their matches, they're starting to cluster over here. Take a look at the finals table.
Two matches, maybe, or 3.
Several matches still going. Yeah. We can see the previous champion wandering the hall, not too far off. The players are looking through each other's scored objectives, making sure they know what the relative ceilings are, what they need to do. Alessandro's hearing sharper than mine. He's got his headphones off so he can hear the players. I can't ever hear him anyway, and I wouldn't understand him if I could.
Yeah, there are a lot of
little banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniele count the objective.
Daniele's counting the objectives.
Matteo,
yep. Yep. Well, we can do a little bit of the math here. Daniele has killed Herex, so he's got 1 from bounty and then 14 from his objectives already.
Yep.
On the other side, Matteo's got 11 from his objectives.
Dromm Church.
Dromm Charge. Sorry we missed that one. Scores Frenzied Rush.
Yep.
Dromm getting damage in on Lasavir, it appears. No, Lasavir was already damaged, yes?
Yeah, already damage. Yeah.
Must have been a miss. Does he have the ping? Is he going to sunder the realm? If he has it, I would imagine he'd use it right now. Is there any reason to save it if he doesn't?
Yeah.
And to do it, he even staggered Dromm.
Yeah, because maybe he do a charge and he failed the attack.
Yeah. Mr. Nakabo, I hear you. I am running on very little sleep this week as well. Some of that is I've got to spend time with my co-host Mike and his teammate Thomas. We've grabbed a spot together. We get back, we're like, we're gonna be good. We're gonna get some sleep, and then we talk about Warhammer for 3 hours or anything. You know, it's been some of the great part of this is coming, meeting all these folks, hanging out with the friends who came with you, or making new friends, or talking with the ones you've only gotten to meet online. Shaking a lot of hands this week, and it's been really great. That's been part of it in a major way. And if you're not someone who has qualified for Worlds in the future, try for it. It's a great experience. Even just the events where you could go to and have the chance are awesome. I can say that it's our intention in Madison to run another qualifier. We do the Madtown Throwdown. in the third quarter. So that'll be somewhere between July, August, or September. And we'll have a ticket there. So if anyone wants to make the trek to Wisconsin at that time, we'll do it. Are there a lot of places to earn tickets in your area?
This year, maybe in Italy, four
Four?
tickets. Yeah.
That's good. Nothing
Yeah, I
quite
don't know
like
if
the Canadians.
if in this year we have the same chance to the ticket. A lot of.
El Meeple Zombie, what a match. I hope I can make it to Worlds again someday. This year, Tampa event was canceled due to a hurricane. That is true. We were going to be part of an event to kind of debut second edition. And obviously, the gaming event getting canceled secondary to all the problems that caused, but disappointing nonetheless. Mr. Nakabo, that is correct. Very, very tired. I've been attempting to conceal it with sunglasses for much of the last one, has reduced that somewhat. Amazing VHS, a Chosen Axes enjoyer back from lunch, checking out Game 3. We're right now waiting for the counterpunch, such as it may be, to come from Daniela. As a reminder, Lasavir is holding on to great strength.
Yeah.
So that's a 3 damage hit plus whatever he wants to slice out. If he comes in with 3 damage, I think you maybe don't slice on Gorehulk because you don't want to give the one more chance for a heal. I don't know. What do you think? It's a tough call.
Or no, I think I don't know if if he attack and kill Dromm.
Yeah.
If Lasavir, if and Dromm heal.
Yeah.
Lasavir.
Yeah.
Can use the damage more to Dromm.
Ah, I see. Because the heal would happen right away, and he can do.
Before,
so if he overheals, wouldn't be able to kill him a second time. But if he were to heal so much that he got past, he could do it there. I also think that most of the spots that Lasavir would want to charge to would not be somewhere where he could even she could even apply it to Gorehulk because he does not want to. Lasavir does not want to charge into range of Gorehulk. If you're going to charge, that cover token's not terrible. Yep. Give yourself extra defense. Dromm, not quite vulnerable, but staggered. Great fortitude, though, I see is played out. So Dromm actually needs 3 to be killed, which makes that blood tithe much more likely to bring the heal. Mr. Nakabo hyping up Nordics in the chat. Looks like there might be some tickets there. More to follow, I would imagine. We're going to confirm real quick look. 15 to 12 appears to be still. Yep, that looks like the right count. I don't see any extra row on there for Daniela. The runaway. You called it, Alessandro. I wouldn't have seen it.
I see you before. Time to be brave, but it's not of time.
And then great fortitude coming down on Vastis, helping push her out of.
For kill.
Between that and damage reduction should help quite a bit.
The only way for Gar to arrive to Lasavir.
Yeah.
It's with Edron charge and Wings of War. The +2 move.
Oh, I see. Would need Wings of War because the Gorehulk does have reckless charge already on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 could get there. Yep. Getting the wide eyes from the judge. It's a big down to the wire. He may have extra knowledge about hands.
No, it's not to Reckless Fury, and I think
that's a good point. Wings of War might only be in Blazing Assault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be totally safe then.
Because I play a lot of Dromm with Blazing Assault, Rails Fury,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Now there could still be what's the pink total collapse? Total collapse could still get her. Yep.
yeah, can use.
Yep. Yep. Little political education from Acta Noverba. So it looks like Daniela has taken one with one action and one action. Matteo pinching his nose and forehead. I don't think he likes his options anymore at this point. Two competitors that fought their way totally undefeated in their matches until now. Someone's got to fall. We've got a lot of talk in the chat about different events. We got the Gore Hulk flying in, making a swing. Perhaps hoping to get a hit and then put Fury of Akshi down. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Nice. Only
One
one.
success. A crit. Oh. Daniela slapping the dice down with authority. He feels good about that result. He may be salting it away. Let's see what Matteo has to come follow up from that. Got another card out. Utter Conviction on Dromm for a little extra protection.
Yeah, and Dromm, defend 3 shields.
With Final Frenzy, it's going to be hard to guarantee a kill through on anyone here. Do you think Daniele can afford to continue running away, or does he keep damaging? Second action step.
Yeah, for Daniele.
Only 4 action steps to go in the entire tournament. It's all down to this.
Long tournament, 4 days.
Oh, it's a very long tournament, and all I've done is sit and talk about it. I haven't had to think. Do you think he's thinking about a focus action? Oh, he passed in power. Here we go. More running away.
Yep.
And it's a move. And he's breaking. Did he break his Bellowing Tyrant? He knows the value. Bellowing Tyrant being broken, making sure there's no shenanigans to remove charge tokens. Almost always we've seen Vile Temptation used to break.
Yeah, but see?
Yeah.
Now, Matteo?
Yep.
Push up to...
This is the push everybody within 1.
Yeah.
But you're saying with Bellowing Tyrant, would get a push, would take a charge token off, all of a sudden Gore Hulk would be able to attack again. So denying the 1 more.
Maximum stagger. Only 1 dice for defense.
Yeah. Fury of Akshi just coming down on the Gore Hulk. Trying to prevent Vexmore from running away. And judges pointing out that Vexmore should be staggered. Yep. As a reminder, the Gore Hulk is doing 4 damage with this swing right now because of the extra charge. This is a big possible
Free
kill.
glory. If kill Vexmore and 15 to 15.
Here it comes. He's about to. At my count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the players from the tournament are all watching the finals, and a few more hovering a little farther away with a conversation. Get it done. Oh, getting rid of the charge token. That takes away his extra damage, but he must want to go for someone else or want more chances at it. We haven't seen a Fury of Akshi from the Thricefold Discord yet either. But it will be less effective if the Gorehulk is not charged. That's going to make it look like Daniele just gave the stagger token to the Gorehulk. I think he was thinking of moving to that spot and is currently reconsidering. The innovation of the bounty system means that these in the previous edition, these fighters would be giving away 2 glory for being large fighters, but now it's as much as 3. Very pivotal.
Yeah, all warbands at 7 bounty.
Yep.
Yeah, this I like.
Yeah, I think so too. What you'll find with some of these big fighters like this, it means that that 3 glory that you would get for the bounty on someone like the Gorehulk, it's the same as if you had killed 3 fighters from somewhere else. But if you were killing like 3 of the Sepulchral Guard, you'd be getting 1 glory at a time. Say you needed 3 attacks to do it. If you miss 1 against the Sepulchral Guard, you get 2 glory because you killed the other 2. If you miss 1 against the Gorechosen, nothing.
And now the rest, if I have a fighters with a race token, the bounty is 0.
Yes, yep. That's a good one too. I've got Alessandro here leaning forward to try and catch the conversation. Maybe he can get some clue on the thought process behind Daniele's choices here. It looks to me like he's choosing where he might land with his charge. He does have reckless charge, so he has the ability to move pretty far with Vexmore.
Daniele is thinking how to move.
Yep.
Yeah. If I do this, you can score 3 glory, but I score 2.
So he's looking at the trade-off. If I do this and you get 3 glory, but I get 2, is that enough to keep me ahead? I have to imagine Matteo thinks that there's a correct choice on this, and he doesn't want to give anything away about what that might be. This is about as animated as I've seen Daniele the whole tournament. Talking through all his options, hand gestures, bound and determined to find the right choice to get him out of this mess. And by mess, I mean the lead by 3 glory. Almost done. Rob Bridgewater, just need a mighty swing from Dromm. Wouldn't apply in this one. Thricefold, known for hating each other, are very separated on the board. Somehow have gotten through this whole game without losing a fighter. Pretty impressive. Daniele could also focus here if he wanted to do that. Depends on what he's got. I wonder if Matteo has that that ping for the back if he's holding on to it to try to mess with Daniele's math. These hand gestures you're seeing, we've been watching just a little bit off camera for quite a while. There's been a...
Okay. Okay. Any other thing to do? One.
I focused into utter ignorance is what Brian tells us. So he drew utter ignorance,
Yep.
just a crushing blow.
Yeah. Daniele, think if do focus or make a charge.
Yeah.
If I do a charge, I can kill.
Yeah.
But maybe
I
Matteo
miss.
can do or can do other objective.
Yeah.
He choose to do a focus because cannot do an attack with Vexmore because the Gore had prophecy.
Yeah.
And Daniele with focus drew
A
and
shake.
finish.
That's it. Alessandro, I'm going to shake your hand here. I'm going to have you. You should go congratulate your teammates. So.
I'm going.
The Italian team all clustered just outside the booth here. It was a long road, and the Italians walked that road proudly and powerfully throughout.
So focus.
Yeah.
The greatest ability in the game.
Focus for the win.
That's amazing. The watching from the side for this last little part, the facial expressions on the two. Someone plays a card. They spend a lot of time adjusting things, thinking, looking.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, another card comes out. Immediate change in who's happy and who's mad. And then they think, and then immediate switch. Like the degree of tension and careful thought, consideration of every hex, counting everything, looking through all the cards. Clinical, surgical performance out of both guys.
Just
I don't
incredible.
think you could get a tighter match. I don't.
Amazing. Just spectacular. We're going to let some hands be shaken here. We'll see if Daniele wants to come on. Maybe I'll stretch my legs a little bit.
Maybe I give him a little interview here. We'll see what he has to say. But yeah, phenomenal.
There's going to be a lot of people want to talk to him. That's an amazing road. Carving his way through the followers of Khorne the whole way.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
So maybe no one saw it coming, but there is an answer to Dromm. There's an answer to Reckless Fury, and thy name is the Thricefold Discord.
Thy name is Thricefold Discord, piloted by an Italian.
Yeah, okay, piloted by one specific man who cannot be stopped. How about that? But yeah, I mean, you have two undefeated Titans meeting in the final, and you really have to work to take them down.
Incredible. We've got a judge going to give us the final. That final score is 16-12 in Daniele's favor.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
one little piece of information I was able to get standing off to the side, I could see some things that you couldn't from the stream. In the opening hand for the Gorechosen, 4 upgrades.
Oh.
Easy mulligan, right?
Yeah.
One of those upgrades was utter ignorance.
Oh.
He looked at it for a long time, decided to mulligan utter ignorance. Let's shuffle real good. It'll come back around. Round 2, draw into new upgrades. Not in there. Round 3, draw into new stuff. Not in there. Which is why it took so long for Vile Temptations to come back out, because he said, I know you have that. I'm not going to let you have it for more than 1 activation.
Yeah.
Put that out there, I'll take it off. And it never came.
Wow.
And you've got to know both guys were waiting for it all game. And it never showed up. And if you don't have that and you're relying on Final Frenzy alone, I mean, that's big for the Gorechosen player. So yeah, he had it. He threw it away. And that might have been the reason he lost.
The folks on the stream heard it, but you standing over didn't sit next to Alessandro. He was explaining exactly what needed to happen in that 3rd round. He was saying that if Daniele wins it, he was expecting to see Daniele run away, because he was sure that Daniele could probably hang on to the win as long as he didn't lose 2 fighters, as long as he didn't lose both Lasavir and Vexmore. He didn't get the turn, but then that whiff meant that Lasavir had the chance to retreat. And that was exactly what Daniele did. Alessandro, knowing his teammate well, knowing the game well, just incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to get him on for that last
Yeah.
one.
Let's put it for a pause for a second. We'll see if
Either one's willing to give us a quick interview.
Yeah,
so stay tuned,
exactly.
folks. You might get some our two finalists to talk soon.
Welcome back. Here we have the world champion, Daniele of Italy.
Thank
Tell
you.
the people, how does it feel?
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to be the champion of the world?
Well, it's really incredible because, first of all, I want to make my personal congratulations to Matteo, my opponent, because was like a battle between family members because we live so close, something like 15 minutes, and he is my usual sparring partner, and I am his usual sparring partner. So we perfectly know each other decks, and we play test for this tournament playing together, because obviously we could not have been played against other opponent because of the secrets of the new rule. And wow, I made minor changes to my deck with Matteo and Matteo as well. So it was really incredible because it's a teamwork. So I'm very glad to be here with Matteo. And obviously, I prefer that I am the winner.
Yes, of course.
And
Okay.
really incredible, because when the tournament was starting, I wasn't sure of my 100% sure of my choice, because it was like a bit gambling. I was hoping in a lot of 3-man warband. I was hoping in a lot of Gorechosen, and I was very scared about Horde warband. In this tournament, I played against Kanan and Greenwatch, and these two matches for my warband are horrible. And I was very scared to fight against this warband in the quarterfinal, semifinal. So in the end, with 16 or 17 Dromm, I don't remember, my guess was right. And well.
So yeah, one of the things that I noticed, you came from Pool 3, which actually had a lot of non-Dromm warbands. You had to play into other, hordes, like you said.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that, knowing that you built this specifically to deal with things like Dromm?
Exactly.
You still had to get through several other horde warbands. What did you do?
I must say thank you also to Alessandro, your additional commentator.
Yes.
Commentator, because we playtest the game against Greenwatch in our hotel, something like Monday or Tuesday this week. And I played it 2 times. The first without trying to kill the leader and trying to kill the minions and try to stop his scoring. And another going everything on the leader, try to kill him. I don't care about his scoring. I just want to kill the leader quick. And in this playtest, I realized that I 100% with my warband try to kill the leader of the Greenwatch warband very fast. And despite the scoring, despite other stuff, and that's how I played these 2 games. And I won because of this, because I tried the game in advance and I know how to play. The Kanan game, I played it just once in the playtest using Kanan on my own. And so I remember the rules, what the minions and the Kanan are doing. And it was a very close game, 2-1 for me, but really close. I always try to kill Kanan first, but then he save Kanan with healing, more wound, and then I change in every game strategy. Okay, Kanan, stay alive. I will spread myself over the table, like in the last game, and try to kill all the minions and to make some glory.
Yeah. Mark is a very good player too, so it's hard to be able to come against that.
And that's really important, because probably against a more powerful player, the game would have been easier.
Yes.
But Mark is really a strong player and very experienced, and the game was really tough.
Okay. We have a couple questions from viewers in the chat. One of them is, who was winning more of your test games when you and Matteo played coming in?
Usually, we play best of 2 during our test, so to change a warband, and 99% of the game were 1-to-1.
So you really didn't know who was going to win.
So we were laughing because, okay, this is the first time in the last 3 weeks that we are playing
the game
3
to find out. Yeah.
So who we won?
Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. Looking at the War Scroll, I do want to mention the Thricefold War Scroll here. Vile Temptations, very powerful for your warband. In this last game, you held on to it almost the whole time. You never saw Utter Ignorance come out. When did you know it was right to play Vile Temptations?
In every game, Wild Temptation can be used in a different way. During this tournament, I use it sometimes to take off the last wound and then kill the fighter. Most of the time, I'm using it to take off Utter Ignorance. And sometimes, like in this game, I use Wild Temptation to take off another equipment that in that particular situation could have been really really annoying for me. I don't remember the name, but it was the equipment that you can remove charge token from another fighter and push him. And in this situation, that equipment was really annoying.
Yeah, Bellowing Tyrant is the name of that card. Yeah.
So I prefer to take it off. And well, different use for a very powerful skill.
Okay. So you're the world champion.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
What are you gonna do next?
Well, stop playing for a week, I think.
Okay, that seems fair.
Because my head is burning right now.
10 best of threes in 4 days is a lot.
Exactly, so. 10 games in a best of 3. And well, then who knows? We usually every year we held as a European community a team event. So maybe our next goal might be win the team event again, because we won for the first 2 editions and we went second in the 3rd and in the 4th edition. So we'd like to win again. And well, no, maybe we can have some team from USA, Canada as well.
Maybe.
It's an official invitation.
We didn't do too well this year. We'll have to figure something out because Italy looked very strong this year. Is there anything you want to say to the fans back home? There are plenty of Italians watching in the chat right now. Speak Italian if you want. Let them know how you feel.
I want to say, well, no, even in English is fine. I want to say hello to Andrea, which is writing right now. We know each other since we were a child, and we played the Warhammer Fantasy Battle in the past together. So I want to say hello to all the people that cheer me. I received a lot of messages, not only from Italian player, but also from other international player that I have played against in Vienna or in Poland. So, for example, and well, in the end, Dromm didn't win.
Yeah. Okay. I know before lots of people watching online were rooting for a European champion. They said, stop putting on Americans, stop putting on Canadians. Give us Englishmen because England doesn't count as Europe. I was telling Alan here, and he said, well, we did vote to leave. So all of Europe is proud to have you as a champion. I'm sure all of Italy is proud to have you as a champion. And I am happy to see you win. That was masterful play out of every game. Both times we had you on stream, I was just blown away the things that you could do.
Thank you.
So well-deserved.
Thank you very much.
Champion of the world.
Thank you.
Best player in Emberguard.
Crazy.
How
really
does that
crazy.
feel? All right.
Thank you very much. Oh, yes, I want also to say thank you to you and to the What the X podcast.
Appreciate
because what you did for this tournament is really amazing. It's something that I really always dream about. And now I can see forever my match.
It will be there. You can download and keep it for yourself. Yeah.
And I really appreciate you and Aman for your podcast. As I told you, I'm a listener of both. And I think that what you are doing is crucial for the community.
Thank you.
Because both the podcasts are good, even for medium experienced player, but also for very experienced player. And sometimes listen to the podcast, I realize, oh, okay, I can play this card in another way. I can try this deck. I didn't know that that particular warband can work. So it's a source of inspiration. So thank you, and continue doing this because I need something to listen when I drive to,
Okay, yeah.
to my
I'm sure
office.
we all plan on making things, but it might be time for you to start telling us what to do after seeing that. I don't know that I have anything to offer.
No, I don't think that I have this kind of skill.
All right.
Better to remain a player
Okay, fair enough. Well, the world's greatest player.
for now.
Sounds like a good enough title to me.
For a year, I can.
Oh, you'll
I
come
can
back
say
and
that.
win it again, I'm sure. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap that up. Thank you for coming on and giving us an interview. Folks like home, I think I'll try and grab a couple more players, throw a few more interviews in here. But that's a wrap. Italians, number 1. Number 2, England, number 3. And Daniele, our new world champion.
Ciao ragazzi, ci rivediamo in Italia.
Yeah! All right, so let's get this back
Okay.
up here. And then, all right, welcome back. So we were able to get Matteo
Hi.
second place, runner up. This close.
This close.
This close to being world champion. So maybe you'll get him next year. Tell
Maybe.
us, how does it feel to be second place?
How does it feel?
How does it feel?
Well, I mean, I'm still happy. It's obviously kind of burns,
Mhm.
but I know that the first place went in good hands, and I know Goro, one of my closest friends, one my teammates, and we played one of our best games. We really had fun, and that's in the end all what matters. I felt in the third round a mistake from my side because I was too much in a hurry to charge with Dromm, who I thought was too far from the battlefield and could have easily slain from these 3 fighters.
Mhm.
But I should have charged with the Hulk with 5 dice attack. I should have preferred accuracy over
The potential
rushing.
damage, yeah. Okay, well, I also saw in the third game,
Mhm.
your opening hand, you drew into 4 upgrades. One of those upgrades,
I mean,
utter ignorance, and you mulliganed
and
that
there
hand.
were entirely ignorance.
Do you regret that decision? I know it's hard to play with 4 upgrades to start, but you never saw that card again the rest of the game, did you?
I actually maybe one thing I could have go different. I could have not played one of my cards, so I could focus discarding that and drawing more. Maybe a thing I will change, but the thing is, I needed all the activation to at least threatening his the fighter.
You didn't
because
want to
we
do a
were-
focus to lose that
we were
opportunity.
3-on-2, and I needed at least one death to, I don't think win the game, but at least go pair,
Mhm.
because I would end up 16 with just one.
And that's what Alessandro was saying too. He said he needs to get a kill here or it's not going to work. So, I mean, you guys all train together. You know the thinking.
Yeah, we
You
basically know each other moves, each other play style, and I mean, we play easier at home, but when we are on the fields,
we gave all ourselves, and I couldn't have hoped for a better opponent.
No, that's and as a viewer spectating this, I don't think I could have asked for a better final. I don't think I could have asked for a better final. That was as good as Underworlds gets. So
Thank you.
we had you on yesterday. We had Daniele on this morning. Having the two of you play into each other, better Underworlds players than I could even imagine being. The two of you playing against each other, the level of play, how carefully you thought about every decision. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. Incredible what you can do. You fought through many, many people to get here. Never took a match loss. Undefeated, both of you, into the final.
That's true.
Someone has to lose. When did you know it was going to be Daniele walking away with the trophy?
When did I know?
When did you know?
When I lost the game. No.
Okay, fair. Yeah. The thought is, you had a chance the whole time.
Yeah.
What was that critical moment?
The critical moment was after the first activation of the third round. Because when the second round goes basically most of the time in my favor, even if the first round I played perfect first round, even if the dice didn't quite match because the Gorok things didn't hit. He attacked twice, but he didn't land in it. But I weren't too mad about it. I mean, I still have scored everything I got in my hand. But the third round, when I need at least one kill before he could play anything, and realize how much shit I wear with my cards in my power cards, because four upgrades and just one couple really useful in that situation. I felt like it's over now.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you fought hard, and I, viewing from the side, didn't know it was over until the actual end of the game. You kept it close, and you were hiding it well. Is there anything you want to say to people watching at home? Like I said, many Italians here, several other Europeans.
The thing I want to say to my comrades, my fellow. Ciao ragazzi, vi voglio vedere sulla scena. I want to see you on the scene. I want one more tournament in Italy, because we're kind of lacking in the previous year, and I would like to. E vorrei che vi impegnaste anche un po' di più. I would like more effort for you.
Well, you can't ask for more effort. The three of you come here, all three top 16, and two of you in the final. So I guess the rest of your countrymen have to step it up.
I hope so. That's why we came here to show.
Italians have been off the map, and I think you're back on. So, okay, if you want to say anything in Italian as well, now's a great time.
No, ragazzi, nient'altro da dire. Goro è stato molto più bravo e se l'è meritata tutta. Sono contentissimo, secondo posto comunque su 46. Bomba.
All right. Thank you for coming on. Congratulations again.
Thank you for the events. Thank you for entertaining us.
Incredible play. And I can't wait to see you again at Worlds next year.
Next year we'll come for sure.
Okay. All right. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. This has been the World Championships of Warhammer 2024, Warhammer Underworlds Finals, Italian versus Italian. Incredible level of play. And I'm really glad to have been able to have this experience. Really thankful to the What the Hex crew for inviting me to come with them and just really taking in the atmosphere of this place beyond what I could have expected. Really grateful to have this. My next interview guest, by the name of Davey. Let me go ahead and edit your little tag here since we've switched seats. And expand that back. I'm really good at computers, folks. All right, here we are.
I could see that those guys were had a lot to say about it, but I'll watch back when we.
Yeah, I think the most interesting fact is that in their preparations, they only played best of 2. And almost all of those matches ended 1-1. And so they said at the table, I said, well, we're finally about to play that third game, find out who actually wins. And Daniele apparently is their team captain coming into this. And so I guess by default, the dominant position. But they did not actually know who was going to win that coming in. Neither one was actually confident that they were the better player because they never took it to that third game until they were on the world stage in front of everyone.
I mean, they can't hardly say any, even now, in this one, it was 2-1.
It could have gone either way, absolutely. Any point of the game.
Wow, what a weekend. More than a weekend. Long with Thursday through today, all that. Now we got to go home and not talk about Warhammer for a little bit.
There is still more to look out for if you're watching along at home. The final rankings are not settled. We know the top 4, and that's locked. But everyone from 5 and below can still be shuffled based on win rate. As far as I'm aware, those are not done. I'm not sure every match is finished. So we will find out later at the award ceremony who ended up being top 5, top 10, top 20, and who comes away with the most world points. Which nation takes home the national title? I'm going to guess it's Italy.
Yeah. As a reminder, there is best overall is going to be ranked off of your overall record, your painting, all those things combined. So even some of the folks who are down in the world's bracket, not in the top 16, they are still pushing hard for best overall. I know I just talked with George Kairos.
Yeah, George looking really good on the win record. Since the top cut, he hasn't lost. So
your buddy Thomas also.
Similar story, has like 100 glory differential or something like that. So based on that performance, as well as the performance of the top cut people, painting score, honestly, it's anyone's game for best general and national standing, as well as the eventual top 10. There's a lot left to find out. So we'll see just how all things shook out. But no matter how that turns out, we did play a lot of Warhammer Underworlds, and I had a great time.
I did too. It was great. We're probably going to wind it down here. We don't have this, as we've said multiple times, this was a bubblegum and shoestring operation where we just kind of figured it out on the fly. Thanks for sticking with us. We don't have any mobile capability, so we're not going to bring you any coverage of the final ceremonies, but you can follow that at Warhammer Community. Find out which nations took it out. There's sounds like there's a really dramatic kill team final, all that sort of thing. So if Underworlds is your only game, good on you. If it's your best game, you're right. But if you're a dabble in the others, then you can check them out too.
Okay. All right. Well, I think with that, we'll close it out. Thank you again for inviting me on.
Absolutely.
And I hope you watching at home have had a good time. And if we're lucky, we'll see you back again in 2025.